This is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I should call this Chocolate Mountain Show 1.A or something. But this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. Eight Wind is timeless. It all started with a gentle sadness. I am the holder of the continuous ball game of the Hero Twins. I am your galactic daddy-o sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. Tonight we are drinking Jameson's Black Barrel Scotch. And I'm gonna have to get up. Oh. So I guess tonight it would be pour them if you got them, smoke them if you want them, because the pen is mightier than the sword. We are coming back to reclaim the pyramids. What's happening, Brother James? Thank you for joining me. Marcus the Great, thank you. If you get a chance to see the trades today, what team won in trades? Caught on video, Biden earlier said he definitely wasn't on subject with a few of the questions. What it do? Hey, Preston, thank you. A unique breed. Eric Gordon to the Nuggets. Eric Gordon to the Nuggets. They gave up Gary. What is Gary's last name that played at Michigan State? Kind of surprised they gave him up, but he's been hurt the last few years. But Eric Gordon to the Nuggets is a tremendous move because with his size, he can play a 3 or 4 in his athletic ability, even some 2s. So I think that's the biggest winner that I saw. Rex Chapman, I mean, Clippers got Clippers got rid of Williams. They got rid of Williams, I'm pretty sure, because he went to the strip club last year. But I mean, we can go down the list. NBA trades today. Opal Diblo, who wants him? So they traded, what is it, Williams? Here we go. So here's the list. But one thing to keep in mind is Aldridge is going to sign with somebody too. Apparently this ain't the list. Lou Williams went to the Hawks, which I'm sure they traded him. Rondo. Why? Who would want Rondo? Rondo played with a good squad. Remember, the Mavericks cut him out of the playoff money a few years ago. This ain't the complete list. They lied. Maybe this will give me the complete list here. Yeah, Oladipo, I mean, he's not helping anybody. He is not helping anybody. Yeah, Spurs bought out Aldridge. Aldridge is going to help somebody. Keeping Lowry, which made no sense. I don't understand why the Mavs wanted Riddick. That made no sense to me. That made no sense. Celtics trade Theus to the Bulls. Again, what did they need another guard for? Daniel Theus. That did not make sense to me. And then Mo Wagner going to the Celtics. Warriors trade Wanamaker. Nothing's going to really help them. Heat's getting Oladipo, which makes no sense unless they feel that Jimmy Butler is going to be out for a while. Rockets acquire Bradley. See, Bradley's jumping around. Kelly Olynyk is the one that hurt Kevin Love on purpose when he was playing when Love was playing with Cleveland. Raptors dealt reserve Terrence Davis to the Kings. Who is that helping? Trying to think. Williams, Rondo. This ain't the full list. I just want the list. Okay, maybe this will give me the full list. Gary Harris. Now, that's what I didn't understand. They sent Gary Harris, and Gary Harris is a hell of a player. I was surprised they got rid of him. I was very surprised they got rid of Harris. Okay. But again, Eric Gordon. I mean, they gave Harris up and a first-round pick. I didn't get that. Oladipo, he's done. Rondo to the Clippers. Don't know why they want him. Williams is buckets. Bulls, Celtics deal. We got Troy Brown, Javonte Green, Daniel Theus. Theus is the top of that trade. Mo Wagner. Again, he's bouncing around the league. The Celtics might be a good place for him. He's still young, too. Wagner's still young. Luke Cornett, not really going to help a lot. And then the Wizards got Daniel Gafford and Chandler Hutchison. Brad Wanamaker, don't really see how he helps. Marquise Chris. Caddy Lane, I think that's a player from the other country. Kings traded away Nanja Baji, and the Kings get Harkness and Silva, again, bench players. I did not understand why the Sixers wanted George Hill. That didn't make any sense to me. And the Knicks get Terrence Ferguson and Portier. Rivers and Bradley go to the Thunder, which is like death, but they gave up 2 second-round picks. Blazers got Norman Powell. I was surprised by this one. Powell, to me, did not seem like Gary Trent was a first-round pick. I believe Rodney Hood was, too. Didn't understand why they gave away Trent. I want to say Trent's a bigger guy. That surprised me. The Bulls got the big center, and then they got Farouk Amanu. Another one surprised me here was Wendell Carter Jr. Wendell Carter Jr. was a first-round pick. And then Arthur Porter, another big guy. And then the Kings. I mean, who cares about the Kings? PJ Tucker was interesting. That's an interesting. The Bucks getting Tucker. A lot of teams in the Midwest said they want Tucker. I don't know who Caracas is. That the guard? But Augustine wasn't playing a lot for them, nor was Wilson. Suns get Torrey Craig. Arija is the one I showed in that video tonight. Who cares about him? So what does everybody think? Wow. Oh, gosh, everybody, I'm reading and shit. I think I said what's happening to everybody. Do they script most trades? Yeah, definitely. They script the whole league. But, yeah, they definitely script the trades as well because, again, when I talk about years ago when they traded Mark Aguirre for Adrian Dantley, what you were doing was basically trading the same type of player but a younger cat. I would say, yeah, Aguirre was slightly bigger at 6'8". But Dantley was that dude that could get to the rim on anybody in the league. So, but it helped the Pistons get over the top. Hey, Read My Soul, thank you for joining me. CJ, Clippers got Rondo. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Tiger Strong. Yeah, you was 100% right about Joe Biden. I watched that video. Yeah, that wasn't Joe Biden. That was somebody with a mask. You could see, like, they made a mistake with the nose, and then you could see where the eye field wasn't there. But you could see the way the makeup was pressed in here. It was all eye field. And then when I caught it like this, because that's the problem with the mask. If you're not properly glued to here and here properly, you'll get that what you saw today, where it's not the natural flow. And a couple of times the mask moved on it because you got to glue all this up in here too. And you can see where it looked like they did it at the last second, really. Tiger Strong, I think I said what's happening. Preston, what's happening? CJ Gordon went to the Nuggets. Yeah, that's I think that's a good move for them. He is very versatile. But see, career-wise, he went from one small market to another. So career-wise, it was almost a parallel move as far as what the city could do for his career. But as a playoff contender, big jump for him. Big jump for him, big jump for them. Oh, that's my son and the coach. They said some players won. Wow. Here, give me a little more, please. This is the same.
It's not for you.
Okay, I didn't want all that snot, but okay, you could have used your other hand. That's the snot head. No, you're not touching my glass after all that snot. Fine. Damn, liquor Nazi.
Why'd you say shit? He said that. It's legal.
I know, but
with parents.
Yeah. Lowry's 35. He definitely should retire. Yeah, he was. And okay, right here. They said some Warriors players got the poke. Oh, that is ridiculous. That is like, why? If you ain't sick, why are you going in there? You ain't sick. Why are you even messing with that? That makes no sense. Yeah, I agree, James. Lowry should definitely get out. Shit was hilarious. Oh yeah, I had fun with it too, Sean. Lowry should have went to the Sixers. Well, Riddick is a spot-up shooter. You have Ben Simmons that's a penetrator. I mean, that's why they want him, because Ben Simmons can penetrate, and Ben Simmons penetrating is going to put a lot of pressure on people. So that is why they want Riddick. LeBron been needing Riddick because Riddick was perfect for LeBron's game, that spot-up shooter. Trade deadline is mid-season finally. Funny how we don't hear anything about Tiger Woods other than he went to the crib. Tiger went back home. That's what we hear about Tiger. He went back home. Turmeric is very strong. It's most of the flavor of turmeric. So, I'm going to start out tonight's show with the show of dumb motherfuckerisms. Dumb motherfuckerisms. And part of dumb motherfuckerisms is how the Smiths, the Tuners, Karens, whatever you want to call it, the Beckys, how they get activated. And it's funny, and even I catch my mother like this, where I catch my mother getting activated. It's like you show them these things, and this is about me. I will politically talk shit and vent on Facebook, but if you talk to me in person, especially my teammates, I love these fellas. I've known these fellas for 40 years. Why would I waste it talking about other motherfuckers other than how you doing, how your family doing, how our ex-teammates doing? You feel me? I wouldn't waste time talking about fucking this bullshit. I mean, we have a country that have turned to communists and the Gestapo. Because I changed the name to Falling Up the Stairs Joey. That's what we're going to call it. Falling Up the Stairs Joey. How do you fall up the stairs, Joey? And so it just brings out these dumb motherfuckerisms. I mean, it really does. And it's funny to me. Motherfuckers be getting heated and shit, but it's funny to me. I just be fucking with people. because that's what I like to do. I like to fuck with people, but people get so butthurt. They get so butthurt over these people they don't even know. But see, they think they won. They think they won, and you are attacking what they won. What? Oh, okay. Didn't realize that. Not sure how that happened. And that's the problem, is people feel they won. I called Uncle Imblesoul for over 2 years. So how did I choose a side? Now, everybody knows I'm pro-gun. I am for guns. I had my first gun at 18. When I was at A&T, I had guns. Because, I had that mentality that, I'm down here in Klan country. And my first year down there, the Klan did kill some people. So I thought, I walk around every now and then. It's probably a good thing to have guns down here. So I bought guns very early in my life. It was very easy back then to get a gun. You just ask somebody, do you have a gun? And they'd sell it to you. PJ, what's happening? Tiger Straw, NBA players gotten fallen. There they go. Hey, Trill, thank you for joining. Do you think the real Biden dead? No, they done put him in the corner in front of a room. The little paddle balls. That's what they go. They gave the real Joe one of them little paddle balls. He could switch hands with it. That's all he wants to do now. And they're like, Joe, he'll break the string every now and then. He'd be paddle balling and shit, and he'll break the string and be like, hey, something's different here. And they rush, they've got a whole big bucket of them to freshly, they all, saran wrapped and shit. And when it's time, Joe breaks one, they unsaran wrap it and get his motherfucker some more. And that's all he wants to do. Shit. Joe got good at that shit. He could do 2 at a time. Hey, that's all this motherfucker wants to do. Oh, falling up the stairs, Joe.
What does that even mean?
You didn't see Joe Biden falling up the stairs?
Oh, hell yeah. I saw a meme. It was like Joe Biden's biggest challenge yet. Stairs. So does that stumbling up the bitches?
No, motherfuckers put one of them sideways chairs. Like he had to go up the airplane, Air Force One, the sideways.
Yeah. It was like Joe Biden's biggest challenge. Our president's biggest
challenge.
Yeah. Who are these? Don?
I don't know.
Who the fuck is Don?
I don't know.
Number 12? Number 2.
I don't know. You'd have to look it up. I don't know.
I don't like those. Some Air Maxes?
Okay, you're taking my attention away. You're kind of hurting my flow there, buddy. They kind of figured out they were going to get back.
Look, I gotta do something. I just got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hit your mama. Don't forget that.
I hate you.
Celtics will let Taco play. I saw him dominate the G League. It's 75%, 7 blocks. Wow, Brookline. He don't really fit the league anymore. It's like he's years too late. The only big man that seems to be really getting any attention is the big fella from Utah. That seems to be the only person. And I want to see tonight what the ratings are going to be, because again, the biggest rating games, which I talked about last night, was the Sixers, the national televised game between the Sixers and Lakers, January or early February. That was the biggest ratings winner of all the games this year. So, but yeah, he just doesn't fit. That's the Aldridge. That's why they're getting rid of Aldridge. People are switching, getting rid of the big man, because they do this basket manipulation from half court. What do you need a big dude for? And that is the attack. Falling up the stairs. Hell yeah, normalize. So that's what that brother. But yeah, he's somewhere we're safe. He's somewhere safe. Well, they did Reagan the same way. When Reagan, after they shot his ass, they put him up. They had an actor in there, and here was an actor. Reagan was tied to that chimp. He was Bonzo, I think, was the name of the chimp. He was tied to the chimp, so a lot of them was calling him Bonzo the chimp. So it's just funny. But it's because people get upset because, again, they think that what just happened and their candidates, I mean, it's people really didn't know. It was obvious. It was obvious that get out of there. Watch this. You guys gonna hear something. Ah! I got her ass. But I mean, people really think they won something. And then what do we see today? They signing some shit to stop all that ballot stuff that just went on, and the people getting arrested, they upset. Well, why can't we go see it? Because the motherfuckers, the governor said you can't see it. Well, you gonna bitch until you go have to bail out of jail and get a ticket, whatever they give you. So it's just funny. Yeah, Gobert was patient zero. There you go. Hey, Barbara, thank you for joining me. And he was. Gobert participated in the COVID thing because, see, this is how he went off cold. He went off cold when he touched everything because he was saying this shit is bullshit. That's why he touched everything. Here's a dude that's traveled the world, so he knew it was bullshit too, and that's why he went through the shaming though. And that's you have to give it to them to have made him, and it probably was an act as well. Him touching everything was probably an act. But yes, they made him and they made Spider Mitchell. They made both of them. And Spider Mitchell was supposedly mad at this motherfucker because he gave him the shit. So that's the interesting part. But good that you're Brookline, you're perfectly right. That he was patient zero for the NBA. They ain't said if he got the poke. Are the international players going to need to get it? Are they going to need to get it before they can go back to their country? And this thing with this ship turned sideways with the Suez Canal, this is an interesting thing. The Americans is outside of the Suez Canal. The Russian Navy is inside. So the Americans kind of got them motherfuckers bottled up. So that might become interesting. And if you paid attention to yesterday, China's made a new pact with, the Chinese Christian faith or Jewish faith people has made a pact with the Russian Jewish faith people. So it's interesting that they made that pact. But I'm going to switch gears slightly, kind of show you guys a little bit. Now, I was talking about with Jalen Rose, there was once a shoe where it was a booty. So they pulled the booty out and you put the shoe on and then the shoe slipped back in. Now these are Adidas. I don't know whose these are. These motherfuckers cost me $40. I ain't even looked them up. But it's that boot technology. If you look in it, like you see this is the boot. If you can kind of see, it's still kind of that same boot technology, the way they've made this. Now they call this Bounce 3. That's what they call this, the Bounce 3. And it's kind of the Air is what Nike calls it. Not the Max Air Pocket, but just the Air Zoom. But they call theirs the Bounce 3. And these are fairly comfortable. The meshing's here. This feels like a type of, might be leather. Piece of nylon runs here. Nylon here. Again, this is like people didn't understand when you talked about ankle technology and what's going to save your ankle, it is always this part here. Like when basketball players wear high or low, like Jabbar always wore Adidas All-Star, Adidas Pro, but he wore low tops. But again, it's always been, this is what saves your ankle, is this cup here. That's how you tell. So it wasn't high tops or low tops. It's the way this shoots. This is the type of mesh. The stitching is kind of clever. And it's this, for those of you that hoop. Very light shoe. And the other shoe is, now this is interesting because this has Zoom in the forefoot. This is Zoom. And then this is what makes it a Max. It has the Max bubble. This is pretty much a nylon shoe. Maybe a little leather there, little leather here. Light, very light, very light. Now, the reason why these are 14s, both pairs of these are 14s. I put my insoles, which I pick up next week, will come into these. That's why I get the bigger shoe. But you can look at the two and see that the Nike is really a bigger shoe. This is probably a 13 and a half. This is a true 14, but this is like a 13 and a half. So just kind of I talked about this last night. And these are really, 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 both of these shoes, that's what I look for. I look for comfort. Like I like the Nike Monarchs because it's all air zoom unit. That's what made the Jordans different, is they was a zoom, all air zoom. So just wanted to show that. Aolito, thank you for joining. Yeah, you can get them at Marshalls. They was both $40. No, one was 35 and one was 40. So it was Adidas model with the changeable boot. I remember them in the 90s. Oh, Adidas had a model too. Yeah, but Nike had a model too. It was called the sock or something like that. In the mid 90s, I saw something on Instagram about some bandit sneakers that the technology to make a player fly. The wear testers dude shows the shoe. It's a shoe band. It's a shoe band by the NBA because it gives you about an inch or 2 inches extra jumping. I some kind of way on my feed, I saw a feet. I guess a guy jumped 12. What was it? 12 feet 9 inches. Set a world record. It was quite interesting. They had like a bell hanging, but it was hard to see. They didn't film it right. Because again, to touch 12 feet, he wasn't at the top of the square, but near. The only person I can really say, Earl Meningo couldn't touch the top of the square. Earl Meningo was my height. To touch the top of the square, our knees would damn near be at the net for a 6-foot person. I mean, so it's but the only person that I heard talk about it was Spencer Haywood. Spencer Haywood said he could do it. And I talked to Ralph Simpson, and Ralph Simpson said he saw Spencer Haywood. Wasn't like he took nothing off of there, but he said he saw Spencer when Spencer was young. He could touch the top. He could just go up and kind of smack it and then come back down. Spencer Haywood was 6'8", 6'9". So that's the only person I can verify that could touch the top of it. But I bring this dude jumped, and you couldn't. They shot it wrong. They should have been behind it so you could see how his body jumped. And they had a little bell that hung. And the bell hung low. I thought it was kind of gimmicky because it's like the bell, I don't know, the bell was on a string and the string gave. So you had to measure it from there. So I thought that was kind of clever. But I've always loved shoes. I mean, I really have. I go back to Beta Bullets. Beta Bullets was a shoe that Bill Russell wore. And I remember I saw a commercial and I was like, y'all got to go get me some Beta Bullets. Red Ball Jets. I want to say Red Ball Jets was probably the first shoe. Red Ball Jets. It was a song. And then the next shoe I think I got was Beta Bullets. And of course, I got them Buster Brown shoe. Matter of fact, my baby shoes was called Little Chicks. I don't know if Little Chicks are all around, but Little Chicks had where it was a where you could sit down for little people. They had kind of a thing against the wall where little people could go sit. You know how normally you'd sit in the chair. Though, remember when it was shoe stores, you'd sit in the chair, they try the shoes on you. Well, it's a long gone. But my 15-year-old daughter, we took her to Little Chicks, and it was still there. They moved it from downtown Kalamazoo out into the south side of Kalamazoo. And so, and then I told the story before, my stepfather wouldn't buy me a pair of Converse. Everybody's wearing Converse. And I was able to get, I think my father bought me a pair of Converse Coaches shoes. And the difference between Converse Coaches, and I can't really show it on this, but so like the regular Converse All-Star, the Chuck Taylors had the red and the white. You would have to get the Coaches, it just had the white. It didn't have the red. So it was like 2 layers of canvas compared to 1. So, again, Jordans was the best shoes that came out not the Air Force, not the first Jordan. The first Jordan sucked. It was like the 3rd or 4th Jordan. You started getting a real good shoe. I love the Penny's Flight 1. It was the lightest shoe to hoop in. Can you tease NCAA, NBA games? Can you tease? What was it? Can you tease the NCAA and NBA games? James, that doesn't make sense. I'm not getting your question. Can I tease? Please give me a better question than that, baby. Oh. These damn lights be hot. Can you please the NCAA and NBA? I think I went over everything last night, I believe. But what about an NBA? What about the NBA? I didn't bet on tonight's games. My guy called me and I didn't bet tonight. Just been so busy, didn't get a chance. So you got to ask a better question, Brother James. I'm not sure about that question. And I was right. Elgin Baylor lost 8 finals. He lost 8 finals. Jerry West lost all 8 with him. Because him and Elgin started before Baylor, but they were on the same team each year. They made the finals. They lost 8 finals. They almost lost 8 in a row. Other than 67, probably 67, 68 year when Wilt won it. He lost 8 finals. They did a tribute before the game. He lost 8 finals. But he, at one time, I think was the top scorer all in the finals, ever in the finals. But again, he's an NCAA sacrifice, and that's what we see. That's how they do it. Just like you see the Celtics wearing Casey Jones and Tom Henson, I think was his name. Tommy Gunn was his nickname. So, but yeah, Brother James, you got to put a better question in there so I understand a little more of what you're asking of me. All right. Okay. What do you say? Is it true that Aretha Franklin was pregnant by Sam Cooke? No. What I heard was she got pregnant by her daddy at 12. That's what I heard, that her daddy got her pregnant at 12. But I never heard Sam Cooke. I heard that the Reverend Franklin that had that big old church that got her pregnant at 12 years old. Never heard Sam Cooke. Maybe that's the lie they tell him, but I always heard her daddy got her pregnant. But she got pregnant at 12. Yeah, she got pregnant at 12 years old. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I don't think she was ever signed by Motown either. What shoes you used to hoop in back in your hoop days? Well, like the shoes that destroyed my legs was Chuck Taylor's. Chuck Taylor destroyed my legs in 10th grade. So bad that I barely played as a junior. Oh, I played and I finished the season, but tremendous amount of pain. My senior year, like my junior year, I ended up, I should have kept the Leather Pro Kids. It was a much better shoe because the Dr. J Converse was popular. And some of the players was the first pair of Nikes was coming in. That was probably 76, 77. No, 77, 78. That was the year I wore the Dr. J's. Terrible pair of shoes. They weren't any better cushiony than the damn canvas ones. Now, semi-pro wise, when I moved back to Battle Creek, New Balance. When I moved back to Battle Creek in 85, the summer 85, I played outdoor semi-pro in Battle Creek. I played in what they was called, it would have been the shoe that James Worthy wore, but it was a New Balance. And what I loved about that New Balance is that New Balance had kind of like Skechers does, where it would mold to your foot. So the longer you wore this shoe, it actually molded to your foot. So that was the first shoe I wore that first year. I'm trying to think what I wore. Oh, and I remember, and I'd have to get the Nike chart, but I had a shoe. It was actually a blue, probably a type of, just a basic Nike, but it was blue. But when you looked at it from the distance, it looked purple. It was a purple looking shoe. No, not you tonight. Not you tonight.
We just hop in.
No. You're killing my. Come on. I'm talking about something.
Yeah,
Stop.
I want to listen.
Stop. Then sit over there.
All right.
And so I played in those that season. I can't remember what that shoe was called, but I saw it. Like if you get the whole Nike from the history of them, it was on that board. But
what did it look like?
It was more like an Air Force One style, but it was a solid shoe.
The Corvuses, those are like solid. Air Force. They look exactly like Air
Force.
But
it was a solid shoe. No, it was a little different though. But it was a Nike.
It looked so there's a shoe that looks just like the Air Force One, but they're like a little different. They're called like the Corvuses or some shit.
And this one wasn't as high. It was more like ankle.
Yeah, those sound like they're like Corey's or Corvus's.
But it looked like when you put it on, it was blue, but from far distance, it looked purple.
Oh, it was blue?
It was blue, but it looked.
Was it a Jordan?
No, it was a Nike.
Because the retro Jordan 2s kind of look like. Let me pull up a picture.
Yeah, but this shoe was. But I remember, I'm trying to think, it's so many. I was thinking of a Macker. I was thinking of this story the other day. I played in a Macker, and it must have been the Iverson 3s. And my cousin brought me a pair. I paid for them, and I remember he asked me if I wanted the box, and they was the patent leather ones. But the answers were good shoes as well. But that patent leather, maybe it was the 3s or 4s, but that was a great shoe.
This is what the retro 2s look like.
Mm-hmm. It was
I'm looking
closer to the Jordan 2 than what you showed me.
This is
now the Jordan 1s and the Jordan 2s weren't very good shoes. It wasn't until you get to like the Jordan 4s that you really had a good hoop shoe. Compared to the other shoes. It wasn't until about the Jordan 4 that you
the 3s had a good sole in them.
Well, the 3s was when they came in with the Air.
And the 4s didn't even the 4s don't have ankle support. I feel like they got good around the
6 7s was good.
No.
The 9 rings.
No.
The 6 rings was a good shoe.
The 6 rings aren't retro.
But what was the
and they got good around the Air Jordan 6s.
But what was the ones, my favorite ones, with the diamonds on the toes? What was that called?
The diamonds on the toe.
Was that the 12 or 13?
With the diamonds?
Yeah, like on the toe here, it had the little diamonds that curled up here.
Those are 6s.
No, it had to be 11, 12s, something like that.
All right, so once they start getting good for actual basketball, so first it starts off with the Air Jordan 1s, right?
Sucky shoe. And those shoes suck.
The Air Jordan 1s were the first ones that actually went up to above your ankle, right? And then the 2s, which were big.
No, that was two different pair. It was a pair that went to your ankles. That was called something else.
The Air Jordan 1s?
Yeah, because it was
the
the
lows
high
and the highs.
Well, it was
now there's lows, highs, and mediums. And if you wear mediums, you're scum. Mediums are like the shitty version of the highs. So like if you get a pair of mediums, you can get like the same color as like the Chicago 1s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they cost like $160 versus you getting the actual high real Chicago 1s that cost like $200 something, right?
But I think they called it the OG something when it first came out.
Yeah, OG Chicago 1s.
Because he wore a higher shoe before the Air Force 1s came out.
All right, so the ones that were good for basketball. So the first actual shoe you got from the retros that were actually like high tops were the
So you're talking retros again. Talk about the original shoes.
Yes, a retro.
They weren't retros when they came out. They were the original shoes.
Well, you call them retros now because they're retro.
I'm talking about
original Chicago 1s were high tops.
No, there were two versions. One was called the OG that was higher than the other ones.
OG, they were the original releases. The OG original, meaning they were the first ones to come out.
But it was higher. One was higher and one was slightly lower.
The only ones that count as an as a Jordan 1s are the high tops, are the ones that are high, right? I'm not talking about the other ones that came out. I'm only talking about the retros that first came out.
When the ones came out, two versions came out.
When they came out, the actual original ones were high top Jordan 1s. They were called the Chicago 1s.
Look up the prototype, though. Look up the prototype. He came up with two. It was two different shoes.
All right, but look. So the first ones that were actually good to hoop in were the 6s, the 7s, right, and the 8s. The 8s might even be the best because the 8s you can lace them and strap them, and they have like a nice X strap, so it has good ankle support.
Okay.
And the 13s and 12s, they were really fat, so it was kind of weird to hoop in them. But the 11s were kind of mids, and they're pretty good to hoop in. But he
said, okay, give me a break. He said Converse. Yeah, Converse weren't very good shoes.
Fuck no, they have no
soul. Quincy Jones says he went on a date with Ivanka. Yeah, Ivanka probably had a strap on for Quincy. My family's still lost. They seen Joe Biden, and they're just now waking up to the truth. That's good, Preston. Next,
yeah,
you see the Sixers. Danny returned to LA and hit 8 threes. Tribute to Kobe. Lakers lost by 8. Remember, he hit that late one. Yeah, he did. He hit that late one. Was Motown run by the mafia? It didn't appear so. It didn't appear like it. It was Berry Gordy. His sister signed. I want to say his sister signed Jackie Wilson first and had a hit, and then I think she handed Jackie to him, and then Martha Reeves had My Guy. I think was actually the first hit. So I don't think so. It didn't appear like it. It didn't appear like it because when they went to practice, I know they talked about, because my mother said it was a place in Lansing where they used to practice too. And Motown, that old building wasn't in Lansing, but that's where my mother always talked about, because she was with the Valvolettes. My mother was like the road manager for the Valvolettes. So when they would do little shows around Michigan, my mother would go with them. So I don't think so. I mean, maybe after a point, but not at first. Not at first. Can you ask your son how his life changed? he just walked out. Damn, it was a young 8-win with 21 hoop shoes. Yeah. My sophomore year was a mistake because they forced us to wear Converse. They gave us 2 pair, but they were, cheap. I've talked about this before. When I was in 7th and 8th grade, I wore high top suede Pro Kids. When I was in 7th grade, I wore the blue ones, and they turn your socks blue. And then when I was in 8th grade, I wore the red ones, and they turn your socks red. But they were nubuck or suede, but actually really good shoes, really good. My senior year in high school, I wore canvas, but they had a little. I should get my son to get my yearbook. It was a canvas shoe, but it had a little collar right here. Very unique kind of shoe. Very bouncy though, very bouncy. So I went with that because it had enough support. Plus, I had insoles by then. I played in high school. My number was 41. Can't lie, I was a bench player, but I love my role, getting baskets and hustling. What was your number when you had high school? Well, I've said this before, like the numbers 19 and 51 run around my life. My grandmother was born in 1950, and my basketball number was 51. Well, when I first started as a sophomore, it was 50, and then when we went away, it was 51. And then the coach went to just odd numbers. We didn't have any even numbers. So 51 was my number. Then my college football number was 19. So it's my grandmother's birthday. So, yeah. Well, I think the first 2 or 3 games I didn't start my junior year. And then by the 3rd, 4th game, I started starting. I remember we were playing in St. Joe, and I caught 1, 2, or 3 dribbles from half court, and the dude ran with me the whole way, and we just went up, and I just blasted it on him. I remember after the game, because St. Joe was cheap, and then like what's sad about St. Joe, my cousin Marcus Muhammad is the mayor of Ben Harbor. These towns are together. They're basically over the rivers from the difference. And St. Joe was cheap, so you had to blow them out, and we blew them out. And I remember the coach took me in the locker room. He drew like the free throw line, and the free throw lane and the line. And he looked at me, and he just smashed the chalk into the chalkboard, damn near broken. He said, "You flushed it on him." Yeah, my first dunk, I literally dunked it on the dude. He went up with me, and that was all he could do was go up. But he got smashed on. Mike said playing in Air Jordans had the bottoms of his feet bleeding. When he played in New York, yeah, but at first, no. But he played in a couple other ones. He played in a couple other Nikes. I was looking at a thing from Playboy where he had on Adidas. He had on Adidas. That's what he wanted to wear. I think when he was in Carolina, they wore the Dr. J's. Or maybe they wore Adidas too. That's who he really wanted to sign with. And they didn't want to give him money. The Airship was one of the original Jordan 1s. Oh, yeah, it was a higher one that he played in as well. So they actually had 2 different kinds. I just remember when I moved to Michigan, because I saw that the shoe sucked. So when I lived in North Carolina, there was no way I was going to buy that shoe. So 85, September 85, I moved to Michigan. I remember one of my friends, we were shooting some dice at his house, and he took me to his bedroom, and he's like, "Check this out." He showed me a pair of Air Force Ones. I wanted to laugh. I was like, okay, but I really wanted to laugh. I'm like, that shoe's a piece of shit. I'd have never hooped in them. Now they just walking around shoes. The Ship was one of the original. Yeah, the Airship. Yeah, I think that's what he wore at first was the Airship. I remember that, but it was before. Vega didn't need no strap on. He already got it. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. First haircut in over a year. Saying goodbye to all the stored energy. Interesting. Spiral glyphs. Interesting. You ever seen a white dude wearing 42? Yes. Some. What is the forward? And my son had to come in here. He left his phone in here. It's a forward. One of the European players, I think I mean, one of the European players, I think, wears 42 in the league now. Is it for Dallas? Yeah, one of them wear it now. So, but very seldom, very seldom. So, I used to fight my teammates for 24 on any sports I played. Someone regret that now. When the very first team I played on was 5th grade, elementary school, and I love Spencer Haywood. So my very first jersey was 24. My very first jersey was no cap. My very first jersey, even though I was a Connie Hawkins fan, Spencer Haywood was the man. So when I was in 5th grade, I wore 24. I forgot about that. I really forgot about that too. You brought that up. I forgot. I wore 24. We had I've got a picture, but we didn't have numbers in the front. I think it just said Lincoln Elementary. And I've got a picture of it, but it doesn't show our numbers. But we wore green jerseys with gold trim and big 24 in the back. Yeah. And then the next year in 6th grade, they wouldn't let me play because I was playing in a program called Junior Pro. We were sitting in assembly, and they came and told me, they said, you play Junior Pro, so you can't play. We had a game. That's what it was. So we were sitting in assembly about to go to a game, and they tell me I can't go to the game because I play Junior Pro. I've been practicing everything, and they said because I played in a weekend program. They was like, well, none of these other guys play in a weekend program like you do. And I had went to the basketball camp that summer. And I'm thinking, this is some bullshit. It was really some bullshit because I remember I ended up going home and running the bus home. My parents were like, what you doing? I thought you had a game. I'm like, they said I couldn't play. And then my parents looked, when like, why can't he play? Well, then we have children that don't have the opportunity, and he plays every weekend up at Kalamazoo Central, and we have children that don't live out there where you guys live. And at the time, we didn't live near the high school. It was a drive for us too, but it was some bullshit. It was some bullshit. Hey, Brother Nick, thank you for joining. Kevin Love wore 42. That was my first thought. That was definitely, CJ, my first thought. I visualized it, and I was trying to remember what team. But yeah, I think Yes, very good interview tonight, Brother Nick. We always appreciate it. Brother Nick, here's another thing. I don't know if you're old enough for this. I was thinking about Detroit. So in one summer in Detroit, we went from disco, where you dressed up, and then, so that was, I would say, I graduated in 79. So I would say May, June, we was disco. By July, we was full new wave. Do you remember that, Nick? Was you old enough to remember new wave? So by that July, we was new wave. And then right before I went to football camp, going into right before I went to football camp, like I would say the end of July, we was full cowboy stuff. I mean, full cowboy. I don't know if you old enough to remember that, Nick, but we was going into clubs, chaps, fake guns, but chaps. Can you imagine walking around in chaps? We had the Lee shirts. I mean, the necklaces, the handkerchiefs around our necks, the big belts. I mean, that's how it went. That's how we hung out. But we went from dressing up to dressing down in new wave and then full cowboy regalia. And I've talked about this story before. So I'm wearing cowboy stuff. I go to A&T and everybody's like, Cowboys. And then one of the players had a tryout with the Jets. And through his tryout with the Jets, he came back like just the way we used to dress. It was funny being in Detroit. I mean, wearing Spurs and shit. We walk into the club, everybody hear that cheek, cheek, cheek. Yeah, exactly. No, I would say better than the Gap Band, though. I mean, it was some dudes that got funky with it, better than the Gap Band. Gap Band didn't wear the chaps and the Spurs. The Spurs, you clink, clink, clink. Spurs make a distinctive sounds. And then Nick probably remember this. On our Stacy's, we used to put Florshams or Stacy's. We used to put taps on them because taps would keep your heels from wearing off. And some people would put taps in the front and the back. So you're wearing a pair of Florshams or some Stacy's, and you walk and you hear the tap to tap to tap as you walk. But yeah, we was full cowboys. It was just kind of funny to be in Detroit and see the vest. And then you had the John Wayne shirts. So the John Wayne shirts, you could unbutton it and it flapped over on this side. So you could wear it buttoned and it was like a row of buttons like this. But if you unbutton it, it like flapped over. And then was the John Waynes. That's what they called them, John Waynes. And then you wore the vest. And then some dudes, dressed like Mexican cowboys. I mean, it was interesting. It was an interesting time to go in the club, and then the girls was dressing like cowgirls. But to see these brothers walking around with Spurs, I still remember that. And those Spurs weren't cheap. They weren't cheap back then. I had taps on my floor subs and biddies. There you go. He remembered. Yeah, we wore the taps. You take them to, you buy the shoes and you take them to the shoe man and he staple them in there. But those was the good days. Those was the funny days. Those was the funny days. And it's just, I mean, the thing I loved is my life in keeping a healthy lifestyle. I think I'm gonna have to mess with my stuff again, but keeping a healthy lifestyle, I've always, until I started getting hurt, really, that's something that my children have taken on, is trying to live a healthy lifestyle, try to eat right. I have turmeric in this smoothie I made. I got, turmeric, when you buy it, it looks like worms, but you can cut it up, you can cut it up and put it in smoothies. And it's really good. It's anti-inflammatory, I believe, as well. And I got raspberries in here, some strawberries, and turmeric. It tastes like turmeric. But just trying to put some healthy things. Like if you don't even eat greens, you can even put spinach in smoothies. You can put collard greens. I got some greens in there. I mean, it's just all kind of things, because when you eat, you want your plate to look all different colors. Like you don't want it just to be all brown, like meat is all brown tends to be, or chicken. You want, when you eat it, you want a variety of colors. I've smashed a big salad tonight. So getting greens in my system as well. So consider that. Consider that you want your dinner to be colorful. You want your dinner to have color. That's a thing to consider. I put kale in my smoothies. I have some kale, but I started putting greens in it as well. I wasn't born until 97. Oh, you're a year older. Yep. I was born in 79. Okay, PJ. I wasn't born until 97. And so you're like my son, between my sons. I had a son born in 95. I had a son born in 98. So you're right between them. Save your heels. There you go. Save your heels. Save your heels. Put kale in mine. K-Love, make too much money to push that soft mental illness. I think playing with LeBron mentally was hard. And again, he put in work when he was here. I got to watch him play a lot. And I'm going to tell you who he was. He was a slightly shorter, but thicker, little offensively more skilled Christian Laettner. He was a little more in the pro game. Not saying looking at Laettner's college game, but if you looked at Laettner, if you looked at Love's pro game, he was going to give you 20-10. He took over what Garnett was doing. He was consistently a 20-10 dude. But that playing with LeBron, again, he was the third option. And so, again, he was traded. His contract was coming up, so he got traded. I thought Wiggins filled what LeBron needed. But I'm thinking LeBron probably looking at Wiggins being another J.R. Smith. I think that's what he looked at. Wiggins was the same size as Smith, not quite the shooter. That is probably why. I would have kept Wiggins, and Love, again, Kelly Olynyk threw his shoulder out of place on purpose to put him out of that first final. And so, but playing with LeBron is hard. It's hard. Even through scripted games, it's still a mental thing. Well, thank you, Spiral Glyph. That is so kind of you to say that. Love was a walking double. Oh, he was. Keelan! Somebody called him. Love was. I saw Love play a lot. I saw Garnett play a lot. my friend got Garnett's sister pregnant, and I've told this story before. She sued Garnett because Garnett tried to take he bought her a condo. It was just a townhouse basically. And she sued him because he bought it for her, and he tried to say he wanted it back, and she won. But my friend, he had to pay child support to Garnett's sister. We used to see him. He lived in the same complex at one time as my other friend, so I used to see Garnett all the time. They have vegetables in the powdered form you can use as well. Thank you, Valerie. That is smart to say. Thank you. They do. They really do. Matter of fact, you can even get pills, good quality pills that will do the same thing as well. Yeah, we should have kept Wiggins. That's what I thought too. I really did. I thought he fit, but again, same size as Smith, more athletic, not as a good shooter at the time. Are you a sports fan? Are you a Minnesota's fan for all sports? Pretty much now. Now I buy the gear because it's cheap up here. It's cheap. I mean, if you try to buy Eagles gear compared to Vikings gear is a lot cheaper. Now, I do love the Wild. I was always a Yankees fan growing up as a boy. I went back to Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle was my first favorite baseball player. And I watched a remnant of the Negro League playing Kalamazoo. One of my friends was an umpire, and there was an all-black fast pitch semi-pro league. And so it was a remnant of the Negro Leagues. I mean, the Negro League didn't really die until probably 61, 62. I met a couple Negro League players too. But Mickey Mantle was, the most popular dude when I was in like first, second grade. So I was always a Yankees fan. But living up here, I definitely pull for the Twins now. But I'm probably a bigger Wild fan than I am. I'm not really a Timberwolves fan, other than it's a game that's in the town I can go see. And I've watched a little bit of everybody. So I'm more, I'd say of all the teams, Wild is probably my first favorite team, and then followed by the Vikings. Because my Eagles, other than they won the Super Bowl, they pretty sucked after that. I was thinking the same thing. Love was a little too soft, but on the other hand, he could get that Bush League. He got that Bush League injury. He did. Wiggins would have offset Draymond. Better athletic, but remember, Draymond is like 6'7", 6'8", 6'7.5" probably. Hey, come get your phone.
God damn, I was looking for it. Thank you. Thank Allah.
Look at him, call the police on you.
Shut up, Big Bill.
He's a little bigger player, but athletically wise, he could have stayed with him. Was bodybuilding a thing back in the day? And do you know anybody that took roids? Yeah, I was talking to my teammates about that. My coach loved tall, big dudes. Like, it was a guy named Bo Gilkey that played at Central State in Wilbur Forest. And he had a big picture behind his desk or on one of his walls of all these dudes. It was Too Tall, Bo Gilkey, and I didn't know the other two dudes, but they was all 6'7", 6'8". And my coach liked that type of player. So he recruited Frog. His name was James Williams. Now, when I saw James Williams, because I'll just tell the whole story. When I saw James, like Frog, I'm gonna just say when I met him, Frog was a year older than me. Everybody called him Frog. James was 6'8", 295 of cut. I don't mean, no cut, big cut dude. But then, like a couple years later, I saw his yearbook. This dude was 6'8", 175, 180. I couldn't believe it was him. So he definitely was on it. And sadly, James Frog Williams died. He's been dead about 5 years, but he died at 52, 53. Now, they didn't say it was steroid related, but it had to be. I've told the story of Junkins, Corey Junkins. And Junkins was more of a basketball player. He was 6'7", though, but he walked around at 235, 6'7". So the end of our sophomore year, after we won the Gold Bowl, we was just messing around, and he's like, just bullshitting one day, and he's like, man, because we had this one coach. He was a European dude, and he said, Coach, because we called him Coach Spit because he spit all the time, so we called him Coach Spit. He's like, yeah, Coach Spit done gave me these steroids. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, because you take them and you lift. You take them and you lift. And as I mentioned, he walking around, he was a slender dude. Even though he played tackle, he was a slender guy. And he came back about 280. And you could tell. And now Corey is still with us. Corey went through the crack phase. But right now, Corey is suffering from diabetes. He's lost one of his legs. And again, these dudes is 61. I've got 2 teammates and a coach. My head coach got diabetes and lost one of his legs. Then he died about 70, 71. He was a chain smoker too. One of the assistant coaches, same thing, diabetes, chain smoker, lost one of his legs. I got to go to North Dakota, to Fargo, to go see one of my teammates. Big West was 6'6", but Big West was like 350. I don't think West ever used steroids. He was just a big dude. He ended up he went to camp Seahawks, but Big West the same way. He had his ankle removed, so they didn't cut him all the way up to the knee. But Corey Junkins, I know he used them, and I know Frog used them too. So, but sadly now these cats, some of them ain't doing so well. So I got to go see Big Mike. My new friend and I think our first road trip is going to be up there to go see him. So yeah, that stuff been around. But yeah, lifting. Oh, you ever see a person that can lift, what is it called? Squat. We had a dude that squatted every 45 plate we had in the gym. We had I think we had six stations. We called him Hammerhead. He's passed away too. A dude shot and killed Hammerhead Pete. But Pete was the strongest dude I ever knew. Pete, we took every 45 weight we had in the gym. We had 4 45s, if not 6 45s at every station. We had 6 stations. And Pete took every one we had. And you know what a bar looks like when it bends? And that dude did it 2 or 3 times. It was like, I don't want to start capping, but I want to say it was high fives. And so if you ever saw somebody make that thing bend, that was the first time I ever saw that thing bend. And Hammerhead Pete was only about 5'10", solid 250 though. And he was one of the dudes that hit you like this, which is outlaw, but that's how we were taught as children. We were taught to lower our head. You put this right between their shoulder pads. Lower your head and put it right between your shoulder pads. And now my other partner, Funk, and his brother is up here, Rick Foggy, played with the Gophers. And Rick, I think, is Edina or Egan, one of the high schools coaching, but his brother Funk, we call him Funk. Funk was like one of the world record holders of bench press. And this cat was only about 5'9", 5'10", but he was benching 4 plus, maybe 5. But he was in the world record. He could bench so much. They call Cockstrong, South Carolina boys. So yeah, it was everybody lifted. I mean, we really, if you ever saw what a Roman sit-up is. So Roman sit-up is you put lock your feet in. There's nothing behind you. You're sitting on a little bench about so big and you're going back. Well, first we took 25-pound plates and we held them behind our heads. So we lifted. And really what it does is it really strengthens your hip flexors. It don't really work on your stomach. Not a lot. It's more your hip flexors, but we would take the 25-pound plates and put them here, and then we would switch and put the 45-pound plates on our chest. And we, you going all the way back and you coming all the way up. And you talking about developing all that, it really did. So yeah, I mean, of course, football players, we was all lifting. I mean, we would lift at night and then we would run in the mornings. That's how spring practice started. We would run in the mornings and we would lift at night. And being a basketball player, I didn't get strong until after I quit playing football. I was still, but I learned that I had to lift because without lifting, you can't take the hits. And so I lifted what I could, but I learned that I had to lift. Or, you get somebody run you over like Hammerhead Pete hit me, I would have fell apart. So you had to lift. I'm a big D. Russell fan. Can't wait till he gets healthy again. They didn't get rid of him, but there was rumors. I like his game. My cousin Charles Thomas used to play for the Gophers in the mid-'90s. Oh, okay, PJ. Okay. Trying to think the Barbers. He must have played with one of the Barbers because I know the father was a little older than me. Because it's still a Barber in the league. I think he was a rookie last year, but Barber played with the Cowboys and the Bears was one of them. The daddy played with the Jets. They live over by Medicine Lake. I can't think of the daddies, but it's a bunch of them because one of the barbers married one of my cousins here, so that's how I know the family. But it's they had two brothers playing with the U last or year before last, and now so yeah, I've run across a lot of they fired Patino and they hired one of his assistants, which I thought was really odd, but they said the assistant was the biggest recruiter, so that's why they hired him. They said he was the top recruiter. We see that the talent comes out of here, but everybody goes away. Like Tubby, the reason why they got rid of Tubby, it was two dudes that Tubby wanted, and he didn't get either one of them. It was Charles. Charles was 6'9", went to Cooper High, and Shotty Vaughn. He really thought he was going to get Shotty. And as I told the story of Shotty Vaughn, Shotty was given a deal and paid some money to go to UNLV. And he went to a prep school down there. Now they fired Tubby when Tubby didn't get Shotty because Tubby really thought, but he didn't get Charles either. But you see all the brothers that come from here. I mean, Gary Trent was here, both the Jones boys. It's ball players that come from here. I don't think they're going to get the top recruit in the nation that's out of Minnehaha playing with Master P son, that 7-footer. I don't think they're going to get him. Last I knew, he was still unsigned. So I don't know. And he's got to start getting these guys. Pete and Ronnie Coleman has something in common. Okay. Valerie, Pete and Ronnie Coleman has something in common. Okay. You ever deal with being addicted to any substance, Edwin? I'm personally trying to quit nicotine for good, but easy and done for me too. I told the story when I sold cocaine. I did cocaine. That was the only way you could just deal. I would write my name with cocaine, T-O-B-Y. I would write it with cocaine. And so, but I never lost anything. I never was like, I don't know. I just to say that this was all I was going to do and just fuck everything. I was never like that. I was around people like that. It was just like, fuck it. Didn't care. They would spend their last nickel. And that was never me. It was always about business. Now, was I addicted to spending money and buying cars and buying jewelry? Yeah, I was addicted to that. And that's just as bad as the drug. You see a new chain or some shit, and you like, okay, this will cost me. I'll cut up this much, and that'll give me the chain. I cut up this much, that'll give me the shoes. I mean, that's just as addictive because that's how you start planning it. You buy a big 8 and shit, 4.5 ounces, and then you like, okay, I need to make this much off it so I can buy this. So the money gets to be just as addictive as the drug. So no, I'm addicted to marijuana. I guess that's one thing. I am addicted to marijuana, but no, I've never had to go into any substance or anything like that. Nicotine is hard. I mean, everybody's vaping now. Like my son, like his brother, my 25-year-old, he's about to be 26 in a couple of weeks. But he's my Hitler baby. He's 420 baby. But his girlfriend used to smoke cigarettes. Now she vapes, and now he vapes. Like he used to do stuff like this, the wax and the crumble. He used to do that. But now he vapes tobacco, and he's just as addicted. So, and that's him. He's just as addictive. City is just as addictive too. He played basketball. He was out of Kentucky. Oh, nice. Okay. Charles Thomas. Okay. I had to look him up. Surprised I didn't run into him in the 90s because I was here in 94, 95. I ran into all the players. Okay. Did you ever hear about Rutgers requiring all students to get vaccinated first? Whoa. Spiral glyph for real. Whoa. I did not hear about that. I got to quit nicotine. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, if you look up the study, there was a study with rats, and they gave them 3 bottles. 1 bottle had heroin, 1 bottle had cocaine, and 1 bottle had nicotine. And they just let the rats go to them. The rats tried all 3. Do you know the one the rats stayed by constantly till they died was nicotine? The rats had their choice to suck heroin water, nicotine water, or cocaine water, and the rats preferred the nicotine. And they would drink the nicotine till it killed them. That's how addictive. In some ways, nicotine is a stronger hook than heroin in some ways, because it's a physical thing. Like we watching snowfall. Now I'll say this. Now watching snowfall, and you watching Wanda, toss and turn. My mother-in-law, we brought her here, and she was an addict in Michigan on crack. She act like that. We had to put her in the hospital a few times because she was having withdrawals of crack. But really, cocaine doesn't affect you like that. It's all up here with cocaine. Where heroin, nicotine, you physically need it. You physically need it. It's like cravings. It's a cravings. It's like I take Tramadol. If I miss a day, you're talking about that restless leg shit, and it's a fucked up feeling, because it's like you lay there and you feel like you got to turn. It is the most fucked up feeling in the world. But you lay there and you can just feel your body, like the energy is flopping you around. Even though you lay in there, your energy is doing like this. So I know if I ever get off of Tramadol, I'm gonna have to get on the Creighton to help me wean me off Tramadol, because it's addictive. It is an opiate. It is an opiate. So I understand. But nicotine, my point is, nicotine is just as addictive as heroin, if not more so. So keep that in mind. Don't beat yourself up too much, because it is a hard thing to quit jonesing. Mark, what's happening? That explains all the people who smoke after cancer treatments, even if they beat it, is very disturbing. I told this story before. One of my partners, my daughter's godfather, his mother had cancer. She had cancer, and she admitted, she was like, I love smoking. Because think about the habit of smoking. I mean, when I grew up, motherfucker just smoke in the house. I'm pretty sure my asthma comes from that. I'm pretty sure. My stepfather would sit in the corner. He was smoking in the house. I'd be sitting in a chair away from him. Motherfuckers was smoking in the car. Like my ex-wife, his mother, City's mother. That's how she got asthma so bad. Motherfuckers riding in the car, smoking cigarettes in the house. She got asthma from that. None of them is realizing that. So it gave a lot of secondhand smoke has given people cancer. People never smoked in their life, and they get cancer from secondhand smoke. But I go back to my friend's mother. His mother, she said it. She was like, I love smoking, because it's such a social thing. I mean, you'll see ex-smokers and still be like this all the time. They'll be like this. But cooking, she would smoke a cigarette while she's cooking. Remember on 16 Candles, the mother's cooking, and the other grandmother got a cigarette in her mouth, and the ash is about that big, and the other grandmother's trying to catch the ash so it don't go on the food. But in the 60s and 70s, smoking was second nature. Everybody did it. Mad Men, I think it was called, where they showed everybody smoking. Like you'll rarely see a picture of Jimi Hendrix where he didn't smoke. Jimi Hendrix was a chain smoker. Huey Newton was probably the worst chain smoker. Catch that special on the dude who played in Do the Right Thing, played the mental illness dude. But Huey Newton was a chain smoker, one after another. He had addictive personality. But everybody was. Fred Hampton smoked Cools. You talk to a person that smoked Newports and have them smoke a Cool, they'd be like, it's a dragon that went in their throat, that they so strong. They tried to do a cigarette called Uptown. Now, a lot of y'all probably old enough to relate to this. A lot of black folks open their cigarettes from the bottom. They would, you pack the cigarette, and a lot of black folks open their cigarettes from the bottom. I'm sure some of you can relate if you have parents old enough. You saw them do this, but that's just black folks did. They would pack them, and then they would open them from the bottom. So this Uptown cigarette by Lorillard, who makes Newports, they came up with the idea to make the wrappers different, so the top looked like the bottom. So this was aimed at brothers and sisters. Newport, the lie of slavery. But this cigarette, and I remember seeing, like, again, I was trying to, my best friend down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, he said he's still struggling with smoking. But I was reminding him, we lived up the street from Lorillard. I mean, up the street, Lorillard factories from A&T. It's almost like, I don't remember the name of the street. I can't remember the name of the streets, but it was within a mile. Within walking distance, this big factory. Almost every day, Lorillard came. If you remember the little candy packs of cigarettes, do you remember you could get, I think it was a 10. It was a pack about this big, so maybe it was five or six cigarettes. But it looked like what they gave you looked like the candy cigarettes, the skinny boxes of the candy cigarettes. It looked like that. It was a van, said Newport. Every day they was at A&T handing out free cigarettes, handing them out. And then when you worked for Lorillard in the summers, you got a carton, you got a case of cartons. You understand what I'm telling you? You got a box. What is that, about 3? You got a box about 3 feet, 3 feet by 2.5 feet. A case of cartons. You got that every week. So it was dudes selling, in the dorms that they worked for Lorillard in the summers that interned, and cigarettes used to be like 50 cents. But I mean, you could get them free every day. When I lived down there, it was the first time I saw athletes smoke was when I went to A&T. Junkins and the guy lives up in North Dakota, Big West, they smoke cigarettes. It blew my mind. My homeboy from Detroit, Les went to Pershing. Les went to Pershing. And Les, he said he quit in the last 5 or 6 years. But they all smoked cigarettes, which was, growing up, I never knew any athletes that smoked, so it kind of tripped me out. I'm seeing these cats smoking outside the football equipment room. Like, well, damn. So everybody smoked down there, though. Like, my ex-wife was one of the few women I dated that didn't smoke. We go to parties and you would go to a party and all the women smoked. It was very uncommon. It was like I was the outsider that didn't smoke. But I smoked weed, so I was always smoking on something. But cigarettes, I never picked up that habit. Never picked up the habit. Explains why people who smoke after. Yep. Right. The secondhand smoke person at a higher risk. Yeah, there you go, Valerie. Vapes are the new cigs for real. They are. They got people addicted that will never smoke. My uncle has a half lung and did treatment and surgery, and he's still smoking. Dig this, and I've told this before. My great uncle was in World War II. He was in the 7th Cavalry, 7th Armor. That was Patton. It was because they sent Patton. Maybe it was 7th Armor. I want to say it was the 7th Division though. And my great uncle went to Africa first, and then he went all the way up. Now I've told the story many times about seeing a Nazi with his ass on fire. You hitting a sniper with tracers, and he'll get on fire. But my uncle had his shit removed here. And this motherfucker was still smoking. He was putting the shit right here, still smoking. He had to get the microphone. Hey, nephew. No, he never called me nephew. He called me Little Harold because my father's name was Harold. Hey, nephew, how you doing, nephew? And he's still smoking and shit. And I'm laughing at him because the shit was funny. He was probably in his 70s, and he's like, but he had his larynx removed. He had that shit removed. Yep. Sure enough. Hey, Lorenzo, thanks for joining me. Like Eddie Kendricks, that's the one thing the Temptations showed that was right. Eddie Kendricks had a whole lung removed. This motherfucker was a chain smoker. He's probably the best falsetto ever other than Prince. But, heavenly. But the girl's all right with me. The girl's all right. Yeah, it's Eddie Kendricks. I'm only 22 and not proud to admit it, but when I was in high school, the vapes were like candy. Now I'm addicted. I know it's my control and there's no excuse for it. So it's up to me to take charge. It is, man. And this is the thing. One day at a time. That's all you can do. One day at a time. Just take the shit one day at a time. If you can quit for 1 minute, quit for 1 minute. You can quit for an hour, quit for an hour. And that's how that's how you got to judge it. I'm watching my children do the same damn thing. Like my soon to be 20-year-old son in June. He'll be 20 in June. He started smoking cigarettes from watching other motherfuckers. He was a follower. My 22-year-old son is a follower. So he's seeing people around him smoke. He feels he's missing out if he didn't start smoking. Luckily, he switched to, and not even luckily, but he switched to vaping, but he started smoking cigarettes. His mother don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. He's never been around anybody that smoked cigarettes. But when he became an adult, he felt left out because he saw all these people smoking. And so he's a follower. The only thing I like to follow was coochie. Oh, the only thing that I smoked was the sacred pipe at my naming ceremony back in '96. Well, you're welcome, Spiral Glyph. I mean, that's all. It's just a moment. If you can stop at the moment, that's all you can do. It was a thing that meant to appeal to children. Right now, they're looking if they're going to ban it or not. They're trying to, in Prior Lake proper, they're trying to ban the flavor, but a lot of places in Savage. So, it's like what they did with liquor here. You couldn't buy liquor on Sundays, so it gave all the business on Sundays to Wisconsin. I'm about 45 minutes from Wisconsin, and we used to make the trip. We used to make the trips to go get beer on Sundays. And so the restaurants and well, you could still drink beer in the restaurants and wine and liquor in the restaurants, but you couldn't buy it. But to get like a 6-pack or anything, you had to go to Wisconsin to get it before football. And so they finally was like, look, we're losing all this money. And so it was like that dude tested them because it was supposed to be open in June. Shit, this dude opened up. He had lines around. He opened up like in supposed to be 4th of July was supposed to be one of the first Sundays. This dude opened up in May. He had lines around the corner. And then they came in and forced him because they wanted him to wait until the 4th of July when the shit kicked in. So it was kind of funny. But now you can buy it on Sundays. But it was that comes from old blue law, prohibition, blue laws. Like it's places in North Carolina where you couldn't, it was still blue law. That's why you saw so many bootleggers. When I lived in North Carolina, I had a dude, old Joe was his name. Joe used to go in the mountains and bring me back a gallon. It was like $15 for a gallon of moonshine. And so every weekend, Joe would come by because he sold weed too. So he'd come by and see if I needed some weed. But like if I bought some weed from him, he's like, man, I'm going up in the hills. You need some shine. I'm like, shit, yeah, bring me some of that shit. Like $15-20. I want to say 15. It was like $15 for a half gallon of shine. And this is the thing about that shine. Well, shine, what I found out back then in general, moonshine didn't leave you. Like you could get drunk as hell. You didn't have a hangover the next morning. Where you buy what they called a stamp liquor is how they said it. When you buy government liquor, it left you with a hangover. But I found out that moonshine didn't. You could get fucked up and you wake up the next day and your head would be pounding. I found that interesting. But he was up in the mountains. I think I am a chain smoker. I smoked Black and Milds back in the day to the plastic. In the South to this present day, you can't buy liquor on Sundays. Okay, interesting. Now, North Carolina, you could only buy liquor at government stores. It was called the ABC stores. Here is very similar. Like Cub Food sells liquor in the stores, but it's a separate store in itself. Like in Michigan, you can buy liquor and beer anywhere in Michigan. You go to a little corner store and you can buy everything. And it used to stay open till 2. I heard they don't stay open as late now since the COVID shit. But when I lived there, I moved in 06. Shit, you wanted some liquor or beer, up as long as you got there before 2, you could have what the fuck you wanted. Like Myers, the stores there. You go in Myers, there's an aisle with liquor on every side, and then beer, like you want cases and shit. Here, it's only like liquor stores, liquor beer stores. North Carolina, beer's everywhere. You can get beer everywhere, but not liquor. It was like you could buy beer at 18. You had to be 21 to get liquor. So nobody carded, nobody carded. I bought liquor but see, Michigan, when I was in 9th grade, they changed the drinking age to 18. So shit, I was like 5'10", 5'11" in 9th grade. So I bought beer, my whole time in high school. Then my senior year, they passed the law back to 21. Nobody enforced it. So my whole year, my senior year, it was a liquor or it's like a 7-Eleven around the corner from my girlfriend. I'd go buy some Mad Dog or some Rick Wild Irish Rose. Oh, can't lie. When I was in my first job at a barbecue restaurant is where I first started smoking cigarettes. Oh, okay. Cools. You start smoking Cools, James? Yeah. Yep. Georgia passed on liquor on Sunday since, wow. I just got off. Oh, okay. Ramonte, thank you for joining me. I'm in Florida and they got beer for sale wherever. Yep. Maybe it's different in the Carolinas or Georgia. Okay. It's different over here with the liquor. Okay. Yeah, but here now they sell what's called 3-2 beer, but they're about to discontinue once because like if you go to the Vikings game, Twins, any sporting events, it's called 3-2 beer. But what's putting a dagger in the 3-2 beer is Utah stopped it. So now all the distributors, Miller, Miller, Coors, all of them going to quit selling 3.2 beers. So they're going to be forced to give you better. But like you can buy liquor at the games, you know, you go to any games. One thing I loved about Wednesdays was it was dollar hot dogs and dollar beers. So that was cool. Shit, I get me because like they give you a baseball helmet full of nachos with just goodness on it, cheese and all the goodness, and then you can get $1 hot dogs. And I'm not really a big hot dog person, but on a hot afternoon, I ain't doing shit. I would sit there. I would always get behind the cameraman at home plate. That's my favorite place to watch a game at Target Field. I've got to get season tickets to get that one space because you can sit like right above the cameraman. He's below you, but you right behind home plate. That's just kind of sweet. But sitting there and just eating hot dogs, and you know the game is hours, and ain't got to do shit because I could catch the train. They're about to build a train on the way out here. Right now, to catch the train, I got to drive to Bloomington to the Mall of America. But again, I can park my car at the Mall of America, go downstairs into the basement, walk out to the train, buy a ticket, and it'll take me in town. Take me right to Twins Field. A couple blocks from Twins Field. It'll take you right to where the Vikings play. You get off where the Vikings play. But it'll take you near where the Twins play, take you near where Target Center is. And it's the smarter thing instead of trying to fight it downtown. It's just a lot of weirdos on the trains. None of the weirdos bother me, though. Do you think the Second Amendment would have an attempt to getting taken away? I want to read this. That's a good question, but I do want to read this to everybody because this is a great point about what you just wrote. This is the type of propaganda we're facing. I know it's on my shit. Motherfuckers be staying away from me. I'll be putting that fire on their ass. Okay, right here. Is freedom more important than safety? Is freedom more important than safety? This is the propaganda from communists. This is the communists wanting to disarm you. And then another page, it says right here, why gun control? Because armed people would not willingly load themselves into railroad cars. Like I was saying last night about Red Dawn 1 and 2. Them communists is getting shot at from every house. That is why they fear America. Now you can say, well, they can throw a grenade or RPG. Of course they can. But it's like every house in America. Like you going to Texas, everybody firing you up. Everybody. I mean, the shootings we've had in Texas, they try to find soft targets. But everybody would fire you up. They fear that. That's the only thing they fear about us. The government should fear its people. That's proper. That's the proper balance. The government should be fearful of the people. I was one of the few calling for everybody, every man, woman, and child in America, go to D.C. Block that shit down. Like what A. Philip Randolph really wanted when 63 did it, to shut the government down. Because that's why they're putting all the fences there and all the militaries there, because they're going to try to do that. And then people, not that fake shit we saw them do, that fake shit they did, not that. January 6th, not the fake event that they caused. That was a fake event. They caused that. That was not a real event. I've said that many times. Killers don't take the newspaper people with them. Killers move in silence. And we got some killers in America. So that's why all that shit's going to stay up there. Because they try to go after people's guns, people will start firing back. And they'll try to use the police at first. And people will defeat the police, and then they'll bring in the armored personnel carriers. But you see what the people did in Iraq. I said that already. There's a way to even get them. So that is what they fear. They do not want us to be armed because that's communism. Communism wants unarmed people. And then try to lie to say that assault weapons, they're not assault weapons. You buy a basic AR, it is not an assault weapon. Not in any, it don't shoot boom, boom, boom. Bump stocks. They outlaw bump stocks. because you can make the motherfucker hit your shoulder and almost shoot automatic. They got rid of them. It's still semi-automatic. You still got to pull the trigger every time. It's just the bump stock gives you a greater, quicker range of fire. I think I got one. Oh, I used to have one. I made pretty good profit off one of my rifles. But I'm kind of privy to them 308 Winchesters. It's a big bullet like that, and it will shoot through vest. That's what I like about it. I'm going to. Okay. So yeah, I started smoking cigs in middle school and switched to vapes in high school. I'm going to Yankees spring training tomorrow. Nice, Spiral Grove. That's sweet. They already said they sold out. They're only taking Target Field is only taking 10,000 people, and they already sold out. I just read it. Alcohol near me. Order online for DoorDash super fast delivery. Yeah, a lot of like Florida. I remember when I first went to Florida in ninth grade, 1976. You could pull up and the motherfucker give you a drink. I remember my friend we went to Florida with because I got recruited by Florida A&M as a freshman, and I remember my friend pulled up and. The three dudes with me was seniors. I was a freshman, and all three of us getting recruited. And he bought them all drinks. I'm like, "Where's mine?" He started laughing. They started laughing, but they pulled up, and he got drinks for them. Like like you go get your food, same thing, but they give them motherfucking drinks. Because North Carolina was like that as well, open intox. Here in, let me see, they'll get you. My liquor store that I go to, right around the corner from me. As long as you spend $20, they'll bring the shit to your house. And $20 is a case and a fifth, or you can get some, you can get a bottle of liquor. If the bottle of liquor is over $20, they'll bring it to you. They will bring it to you. Here in my town of Mississippi, you can't buy liquor on Sundays. You can buy beer, but not liquor. Matter of fact, we have dry counties, which we go to the next county to get liquor or beer. Yeah, Lorenzo, that's what I was saying. North Carolina still had dry counties. How can one be safe if one isn't free? There you go, Edward. In this 80s Red Dawn movie, the communist soldiers at times were shot by arrows and caught in bear traps. There you go. What do you think about going to bed What do you think about going to bed to high frequency sounds? I do that all the time, but I mostly meditate first and then I go to bed. It's like whatever this thing is called, JBL Soundbox or Extreme 2. It's fairly loud, but I put it on. Depending on the year, I would do snowstorms or fire, but I would generally, like this time of year, I'll put rain and storms, and that's normally how I meditate. I meditate normally with that kind of noise. I kind of prefer it. It seems like it brings me into it a little better. Yeah, so I think that's a good thing. It's no problem with that, and it's a lot of good ones. Like it's a lot of good ones. Contract killers at that. There you go. I hope a motherfucker would try to come to disturb a bitch, and if they do, they better hope I have a gun, because if not, they're going out beyond painfully. There you go. Timeless, they got primitive archery classes in Van Buren, Arkansas. Nice. Like up here, you can buy crossbows. You pay $400 or $500 in a crossbow. I mean, the thing that Cortez was getting fucked up is this motherfuckers can shoot arrows at motherfuckers really quick. Because in some instances, you can shoot more arrows at a person than they can shoot you with bullets, especially the old guns. NFL is selling tickets for full stadiums next season. They haven't mentioned that here. Like the Twins are making you buy packages, and the Twins hold about 20. They're going to sell packages. Now, I know that the Wild are already selling season tickets for next year. And so I think part of my stimulus money is to buy some wild tickets, because hockey is the funnest to watch. I mean, hockey is the funnest to watch live. Motherfuckers be turned up in there. Motherfuckers been turned up in the hockey games. And it's like, long as you have a Wild jersey on, it's the same way in the Viking Stadium. Long as you wear the Vikings colors, everybody is your buddy. Motherfuckers buy you drinks and shit. Yeah, the NFL, they're selling, the packages. Hey, James. Salute. It helped me to go to sleep, but my dreams sometimes end up being wild. Not sure why. Like I have two citrines. Probably my favorite crystal to hold is my citrine. I've got two of them, but when I bring them both in this room, like they'll knock pictures off the wall because they're a fucking they're a jokester kind of energy that stays in them. It's a jokester energy, and they love to knock my pictures off the walls. So if I have one here and one in that room, they really love that. I have one right here. I have this and a big poster with color right here. And they love to knock that motherfucker off the wall. So I have to keep it in my bedroom. So I've been sleeping with it. And you talking about lucid dreaming like a motherfucker. It was the coolest lucid dreaming because I was in this school and shit. And I could, like, sometimes what's funny is dreams would be very much like a video game. You can see like the little arrows and shit they want you to follow. And I'd be like, fuck that. I'm going to do my own thing. So they kept trying to get me to go to these certain spots. And I kept walking around the school seeing this shit. I was like, damn, this shit is looking good. So I got up to pee and then laid back down, and I jumped right back where I was. And this one teacher kept looking for me. And then I looked in his room and laughed at him. He's like, you avoided me all day. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm about to wake up too. And he started laughing. But it was just fun. It was a younger me, and I'm just walking around laughing and shit. It was fun. It was really fun to lucid dream that clearly. But just to have fun with these motherfuckers to avoid them. I had another lucid dream where they kept trying to put me in jails, and I kept breaking out. It was like I was looking at this shit, and I was like, this shit right here, I can get out. One of them, I unseamed the motherfucking wall. I found a seam, and I was able to separate this goddamn wall to get out, and I was able to force it back together. And then they're looking at me like, this motherfucker that got out again. So it's kind of like a synchronicity or whatever it was called, where the motherfucker, they were so stupid, they didn't have jails with bars, and then they just chained him to a big ass boulder. But it was kind of like I just kept escaping. They kept putting me in these rooms, and I kept escaping. These motherfuckers like, damn, there he goes again. No, this is I like these are acid blondes. They're acid and they're sweet, but I just chew on them. They look like a backwood, but I just chewed on them for a couple of days. It's too lazy to go get some more. I'm gonna order, matter of fact, I'm gonna order a box of them because they costed me $1.25. No, $1. Shit, with taxes, they probably damn near $6. $6 for these. I can go get a box. So that's what I'm gonna do. I got a cigar company, and they'll give me the box with the loose tobacco. They pack them with loose tobacco because the store they'll give them to me. But I bought most of them, so I might as well fucking just buy the box. So I'm gonna buy about, I think the whole box is 80. I'm gonna buy probably 40. I never been let me see. Ancient times, there used to be a massive number of black Jaguars in Texas. Yeah. One of the most powerful lobbyist platforms in DC is the NRA, yeah, but the NRA has been taking hits. They've been taking hits. I've never been close to lucid dreaming until I started listening to high frequency sounds. Still not sure if it's a good or bad thing. The dreams are still not in my full control, but really feels it. Okay? Like I am in them. And make sure you dream in color too. Make sure they turn to color. If the color's not on, turn it on. And you can turn it on. It's almost like if you remember The Wizard of Oz, like it starts in black and white, and when she gets to Oz, it turns in color. You can turn it on that quickly. Because if you looking at the shit's black and white, you're like, this shit is fucked up. Why is this shit in black and white? And you just kind of turn a switch. You just like, fuck this. I want to see color. And it'll turn into color for you. So keep that in mind. And then the thing to remember, this is the how to take control. And I did learn this watching somebody on YouTube, but it's very useful. The thing that you have to do is, if you're not sure if you are full control of your dream, or if you even dream, and look at your hand. And if your hand does like Doctor Strange, it turns into weird shit, or you got gills, then you know you dreaming. And then once you know you dreaming, how do I want to put this? Once you know you're dreaming, then okay, so you see these gilded hands, and you can start like doing this, and you start controlling your body movements. And once you control your body movements, you see that you can control everything. It's like I'll go into the ethers, and it's like I won't realize I'll have full control, and then I'll be looking around like, man, wait a minute, this ain't lucid, this is in this shit. And I'm like, this, and I remember I was like, this is real. And I started running to, I call it the candy people. I started running to the wall. I'm like, oh shit, I'm on. And I just started sprinting to this wall. I was like, this is real. That's how I felt. I was like, this is real. So I was like, oh, I'm in the candy realm. Okay, and then I started sprinting to the wall. Like, yeah. But that's all. Just practice. Like I am in them. NFL ticket sales, full stadium next season, COVID facts. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I want to hit the lottery and win a damn. I want to send one of them box seats. I want one of them booths in the stadium. I can bring about 10, 15 friends. Mm. Turmeric has a very distinct taste. I admit I terrorized my daughter with turmeric. She hates worms, and turmeric look like worms. I'm like fucking with her. I threw it in front of her. She's like, ah! She started screaming and shit. Because when she's here with me, she sits here with her little tablet and shit. And she starts screaming and shit, get that worm away. And I'm like, this ain't no worm. Look. My dreams are in color, most definitely. But sometimes they make no sense. Like one time, my pops, who doesn't smoke, was begging me to smoke this big joint with him. And it freaked me out. Wow. Doing something not normally done. Damn, I spit all over the computer and shit. That's interesting there. That's interesting. So he was doing something out of character. That probably wasn't him then. It probably wasn't him. Some attachment playing him. What makes me think I could get really deep in thinking about that. Yeah, that was probably attachment playing his role. Because normally family ain't gonna do something out of character like that in your dreams. So that's interesting. That's probably turmeric and ginger is the best. Gotta decipher your dreams like a puzzle. Yeah, kind of is. Kind of is. That's why you should have a book. Everybody that's listening, have a book, buy your shit. So, oh fuck, I've been going this long. I didn't realize it. So last night, man, 4 hours. I couldn't believe I went 4 freaking hours. But I'm gonna do the divinations. So we should be at 13 platoons, 0 cartoons, 8 tunes. We should be at 6 Uno, and I believe we are okay. That was some goofy shit I just did. We are at 16 kin. And as I always do, I will always do the Mayan. And the Mayan day 16 is Koban. Cosmic force, ability to contact and commune with the galactic consciousness, and the energy is going from the south. And this is probably my favorite of all the fractals. So you see why how the English put a lot of this shit, this stuff we recognize. And for the Toltec, oh, I'm sorry. Was Kaban yesterday? Let me double check. Because I took out another card. Let me double check. It's funny, I don't even use the 12 max. I'm like, I'm not putting all that bullshit on it. I'm not putting all this bullshit on it. I was wrong. I'm sorry, it's day 17. So I think we're on a new term. So it would be Esteban, which is really my real would-be name. No, it's Kaban. Yep, I'm right. It'd still be Kaban. Yep. But the energy is from the south. So it's Earth Force, Synchronicity, Power, Intelligence, Synchronization. But I think I just took the wrong card. Yeah. I gotta grab the current card. I thought I just kept my place with yesterday's card. Yeah, there we go. That's all I did is I thought I had put this when I was getting ready. So we are in a new cycle from the east. And I think the full moon is going to be tomorrow night. So I'll bring out the drums. Let me see. Let me ask. When does the full moon? The full moon will be Saturday night. Saturday night. Yeah. I've got a calendar too that shows what time. I've got a moon calendar. Let me see where that is. So it looks like Saturday night. Yeah. Let's see. This shit is deep here, boys. Moonrise. So the 20, 26, 28th. Yeah, the full moon will be on the 28th. Looks like it will peak. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, so it'll peak. Huh. It's kind of, yeah, wow. So it does a different orientation on that day too, the day before. Huh. Starts March. I'm gonna have to do a little more studying, but it is definitely the 28th. You hear my son? He's tripping out, but he's big enough to back it up. Okay. In this card, in this image, we see the movement represented by the dying process, which doesn't lead. Trying to get comfortable. Probably should do opposites. All right, that's a little more comfortable for me. In this card image, we see movement represented by the dying process, which doesn't lead to disappearance, but to movement and transformation. In the hand of a character, there is a parchment containing his or her life history, a representation of the recapitalization or relieving of that what we do at the moment. Four energetic bodies are leaving the physical body of the dead one. From the base of the spine, the vital life force, Ikado, known in India as Kundalini, is moving away. From the belly button, a red serpent representing the energy that used to sustain the individual's life is coming out. Emerging from the throat is a gray serpent with the head of Ikado. What? Deity of the wind and spirit, which represents the emotional body. A fourth smaller serpent coming out from the top of the head, representing the mind thinking body, is also abandoning the physical body. All these energetic serpents are not only disappearing, but also coming back to the world of energy that is surrounding the human being. The physical body is now an incomplete course, is also becoming part of the energy of the world, represented by the gray background. Soon there will be no trace of the person. In this card, we see the movement of the energy that used to constitute the individual coming back to its origin. The endless ocean of energy and awareness from everything comes into which everything returns. The Olam represents the permanently impermanent nature of life, which is impermanent in the sense that it's always changing. But the impermanent dynamic is the only thing that is permanent.
Father.
The specific feature of life is what troubles us the most, dealing with a world that it was life that never remains the same. Once we manage to understand and adapt a specific movement and situation in life, it changes again and again, bringing new questions, new demands to adapt to something else. The perplexity of this may be expressed in the saying, when I finally have all the answers, all the questions have changed.
Father.
The only way to be synchronous with the movement in the world is moving awareness.
Father, please.
What?
All right, look.
Okay, you got to wait till I finish. And a constant transformation is what brings forth. Give sense to the world concept of personal growth and development, following spiritual path. Because the world and your life are always changing, you have the right to make sure to stay in motion too. You have to invent and reinvent yourself again and again in your life process. This is the only way to remain in step and balance with the ongoing motion of energy that is your life. What you are seeing is just one of the sharp edges of life. Everything is dying from the moment it is born. You are seeing so many things going past so they can take your breath away, but you must keep moving because there is more coming towards you.
Am I good? People's trying to rationalize and speed up the process of life. But let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
See, the majority of people live, let's say, 80 to 100 years, right? I'm going to go with 100 because it is more even and you can calculate it better, right?
Okay.
I don't care if you lived at 80. You can rationalize what I said to a better degree, right?
All right.
Say you lived at 80, right?
Okay.
And what they said was true, right?
All right.
And let's say it goes for what they said goes for like every 25%, right?
All right.
25, 50, 75, 100. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let's say what they said you heard when you were 20, right?
All right.
So you hear that and you rationalize it when you're 25 years old, right? The thing is, if you're not ready for it or you don't prepare for it, the thought of this, right? An existential crisis.
Okay.
Then you're pretty ill prepared for it and it will throw your whole balance off.
Ill prepared for death?
Yeah, exactly. You're ill prepared. You are ill prepared for death. You are ill prepared for the thought of death, right?
Okay.
You don't really want to think like you. I'm not trying to shit on you. You're my father, you know.
Okay.
You're pretty knowledgeable. You do not want to think about death or such a thing like death until you are at least 50. You know what I'm saying? Because once you are 50, you've lived your life, you know.
Okay.
Not to the fullest, but you lived your life to a significant amount where you can build a basis upon reality and share that basis upon other people, you know.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what they felt. They could have went through hard times, good times. It doesn't matter. You can build your basis upon reality to another person, even though they have lived a completely different life.
Okay.
Because you have had 50 years. I'm 18. I can somewhat relate to other 15-year-olds, but I can't relate to 28-year-olds, you know? You have a child.
31. My oldest is 31.
31. You have a child that has been 31 years. And you can build your basis upon 31, 34, you know what I'm saying? Because you're an old buck, you know what I'm saying? You're an old buck. But I'm not trying to dilute this problem by age, you know.
Okay.
Because you get to a certain point. Let's say 40 is like a vague statement, you know.
Okay.
I'm not trying to dilute you, and I'm not trying to gas you up.
All right.
Because if I gas you up, you know, I'm your son, so it seems as if I'm just gassing you up because you asked me. And if I dilute you, it just seems that I'm diluting you because I'm your son and I'm rebellious, you know?
Okay.
So I'm trying to find the middle ground.
Okay, the middle ground is let me answer these people's questions.
No, please, trust me.
Trust and believe.
Trust and believe. All right, but anyways, I'm trying to meet in the middle.
Okay.
Even though you have your strong spiritual pressure, let's call it that, you know?
I have spiritual pressure?
I'm calling it that.
All right.
I watched a lot of fucking anime, and then in Bleach, it's called spiritual pressure.
All right.
So there's would you like to know what I'm talking about when I refer to it as spiritual pressure?
I understand. I overstand.
All right. Should I explain it?
No, I'm going to answer some of these questions.
All right, yeah. So I assume you kind of have like this spiritual pressure, which is based on anime. It's not based on anything you. It is based on what you have said, but it's not based too much on what you have said. So I base how you feel and how you view reality on spiritual pressure. Okay. I just wanted to be known as that, right?
Okay. I need to answer questions. Okay. So it's not the city show, it's my show. So
yo, chill out. Wait.
Give you 3 more words. What?
All right, look, 3 more words. Your son.
That's 4.
No, that's 1.
That's 4.
Let me count it as 1. I'm here.
You're not going to wear that shirt. No, you're not getting the shot wearing that goddamn shirt. No way. You're not going to have it your way.
Sheesh, I got a white beater.
Yeah, get away. Let me answer these people.
No, let me ask one more question.
Okay, someone asked, if I believe if you don't dream, it's unhealthy. Do you agree?
Look. One more. All right, look. What was the last question you didn't want me to answer?
You can get your own channel.
Fuck you and your channel, goddamn jigaboo.
You can get your own channel.
All right,
let me answer people's questions.
I didn't get to finish.
What? You never started.
I did start. All right, look.
Now, doesn't it look like I'm the like dummy and he's the puppet boot dude, you know, where the ventriloquist, Don't he look how big his head is? Like
Let me
his
see your teeth.
His head is big as my
Listen,
body.
all I'm saying is a spokesperson should have good teeth.
A spokesperson? What is
A spokesperson.
You said a spokesperson. What is a spokesperson?
I don't smoke.
Okay, you just dropped my cigar on the floor
Where?
by your funky feet. And you know, our floor's got cat hair. So
That was actually
throw the
factual.
motherfucker away. Throw that shit away. Throw that shit away. Now, can you go stop bothering me?
Nah, I would like to bother you.
No, you have to pick another
Oh,
time.
yeah, my fault. I'll pick another time.
Yes. So it says, I believe if you don't dream is unhealthy. Gaming says that. It's not that it's unhealthy. You should dream. And it's not that you don't dream, you don't remember your dreams. And so you have to find a way to remember your dreams. And there are foods you can eat, not necessarily have to take substances, but you want to. It's really no way to back that, but it's like something blocking you from recalling. I know I've been taking the She Legit. I've been taking the She Legit, and the dreams have been coming a lot better for me. She Legit will react somewhat like Sugarite. Sugarite could make you remember your dreams too. What? Okay, you are in a state, and you're bothering me. So go back and
can I speak on the dream thing? Because I feel this dream thing.
Speak on the dream thing.
So
you're being obnoxious, though.
False.
No, you are.
False.
You should let me just do my thing.
Because this is a dream thing.
Why did you quit playing your game?
All right, look. This dream thing, like, I don't dream very well, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The only time I actually do dream is when I usually stay up all night and then I pass out is the only time I dream. Other than that, I do not dream ever.
You don't remember your dreams?
No.
Yes.
I do not dream. Because I know, listen. There's times that I know that I dream, that I go to sleep, wake up, I know that I've had a dream, and that it is possible to remember my dream, but I do not remember that dream.
Your dream?
And then there's also times that I'm like, wake up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I dreamed, but I know nothing about that dream. You know what I'm saying?
You don't remember. You don't recall.
There's times that I know that I did dream, but I know nothing about the dream.
Okay.
But mass majority of the time, I know that I did dream, but I remember zero about that dream. Okay. But when I know that I did dream, I know at least like a little bit of 1% about the dream. You know what I'm saying?
But there are blocks that will block you from remembering.
But
it's like saying, it's like this. Your brain doesn't stop because you sleep. Your brain is still.
Your brain never stops.
Exactly. So you do dream. It's just you don't recall the dream.
Because I have a little philosophy.
You have a little philosophy?
I have a little philosophy. It's already a known philosophy, but like it's to my standard, you know. I have a philosophy that I can't prove anything exists besides my consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You understand it?
I understand, Shannon. You're acting like your mother. Please go sit down. Go play your game. Go play your game, please. Thank you.
Let me get this understood.
This is a Shannon move. You're acting like she would act. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So it's things you can take.
I don't like this. I don't like how you worded it.
Also, don't forget to end with the full poem tonight. As much needed way to end the night. Okay, if I can remember it, it's always changing. I just try to use his words because I don't always remember all of it, Mark. Oops, I jumped too far. Where did I jump from? Okay. I've been drawing ancient shapes since elementary and never knew it. That's good. That's a good thing. Normalized. The state of Arkansas used to be Toltec territory, Toltec mines and hot springs. Perhaps, but they are more in the highlands of northern Mexico. And Toltec Taoism calls awakening the dragon. Yeah, I've studied that. Can you ask your son how COVID has changed his life? He just took off again. I'm sorry. I don't really think it has. He's not doing anything. Matter of fact, it's probably been better for him since COVID. He hasn't had to go to school. As long as he keeps his job, he'll graduate. Your son sounds like you. Yeah, he's a little sauced. If he met any immortal yogi, Indian, Tibetan warrior monks. Yeah, he's funny tonight because he's a little sauced up. Uh, he got mad because I say he's acting like his mama because his mama get drunk and act like that. He is. I mean, he's been around me, so recommend anime and manga for your son. Crime Freeman Saga. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, he's anime. He's big anime. And then Community Splash is my other son. That's nothing but anime. Well, I mean anime, and then he plays games on it too. He said jigaboo. Yeah, he calls me. We call each other jigaboo all the time. So smoking weed at 24 and 31. Now I can tell you that it blocks my dreaming. That's interesting. I've never heard that because a lot of people, if they go to sleep high, they tend to go right into lucid. So that's interesting. When I quit cannabis, I started dreaming so much and also sleep talk so much in my dreams. Interesting. I can still dream if I don't oversmoke though. Okay. I dream almost every night. I mean, I'm getting done with my first bottle of She Legit, and I've got to order some more. I'm gonna order a bigger batch because you can get about a 3-month supply for about $40. So I'm gonna order a bigger batch because I'm even catching myself. Like I know the Motivite helps me speaking because the beautiful thing about Motivite is that it reconnects neurons because that's what we lose. That's what dementia is. It attacks the neurons. Like my father and I can talk and he'll tell me about 70 years ago, 60 years ago, and he's a little boy, but he won't remember like the last 10 steps. And so I'm going to recommend, and this is a thing for anybody that if you think you're having memory problems, one of the things to do, like I mentioned last week, is I couldn't remember the word contacts. I was thinking addresses, phone numbers, but I could not remember the word contacts. But I just made myself, I kept concentrating, not getting frustrated, and I just kept doing the little steps. But this is another thing. If any of your parents are suffering memory loss, I'll give this to everybody. Put out 2 rags. Take something familiar. So, I don't know. Like I got crystals everywhere. So take something familiar and have the person place on his right side under like a face towel. Have them hide it, place it over. Have them look in the mirror and have them say, what did I just hide? Don't let them say, if you don't remember, that's okay. Don't get frustrated. If they can't remember, do it again. Look at it, place it, put the rag over it, look in the mirror. What did I just hide? And then once you remember this, do it on the left side. Same thing. Take it on the left, cover it up, look at yourself and say, what did I just hide? The next thing they call is the Sherlock Holmes. You take this same item, you put it in the kitchen, you sit down. What did I just hide and where did I put it? And you try to remember where you put it. If you don't remember, go back up and look at it, do it again, sit down. And then you build up to multiple rooms. You take several objects and you put them in multiple rooms, you sit down. But what it helps you with is remembering hints. See, that's what loss of memory takes away is your hints, because that's how we think. You may not remember what you just did. Like when you lose your keys or something, you have to be able to track your steps. And that's what we lose. We lose the ability to track our steps, to follow what we just did. So those are just some little things that might help. When I quit, I still dream, but I don't oversmoke though. We dream every night. We dream every night. We just don't remember. Yeah, Spiroglyph. Especially those who smoke Kush. I get back to my old self when I do pause from smoking. Yeah, I think I'm over smoking way too much. I agree. I don't think I ever over smoke. But it's like me. I get high easy. I get high easy. Like I'll hit this a couple times and be good. Like I've had girlfriends that just bong after bong, and it's not me. I hit one bong and I'm like, she's like, you want some more? I'm like, no, I'm toasted. And I'll enjoy feeling toasted until it runs away. But I don't know. I don't just like, I'll do this every so often. Like I've hit this twice since I've been sitting here, and I've been sitting here for 2 hours. So, it's like I get high fairly easy, So I probably smoke too much, but I mean, But that's just when I stop smoking for 4 days, my dreams are awesome and clear. Remember them. I'm over smoking. Um, Story of assassin that sheds tears when he kills. Oh, interesting. Seemed like you said it's just remembering. That's it. I wake up out of my sleep talking to someone. I'm not sure who. I finish the conversation. When I wake up, I know this is only me. Yeah, I can understand that, Valerie. But like I have a dream book, and when I wake up, I try to everything little thing I remember, and then I try to decode it and see what the message is. Uh, so, but it makes sense because I was in a jail, and then today I was in the school where I went to multiple jails, and that shit was fun escaping from the jails. It was like as soon as they would put me in a different box or whatever the fuck it was, I would sit there and just look like I would figure out how to break the reality and escape. It was kind of funny. And then I'm in the school setting, and then I got a dream book too. You know, I studied the dream book because people call me all the time. Because I used to collect number dream books as well, like in what is that? Not Gangsters. What is that with Lawrence Fishburne? But they was talking like when I got them to say when they said 42, you know, they were saying what number it meant. And there used to be dream books. A lot of them they don't sell anymore. Um, uh, I am the same when I smoke and I use smoking herb as a tool. Okay. My grandma says when I smoke, I get lame and I get high easy. In the dream time, one can see different dimensions and realities. Yeah, yes, of course, of course, of course. But I just meditating, I've learned to do that just as well. Because sometimes I learn when like I'll lay down and my shit will still be open, you know. My first eye will still be open. So I'll lay down and it is like I'll lay down and close my eyes and if my my first eye is still moving, it'll start. The room will like disappear. She's messing with my stuff in my closet. Uh, Excuse me for a second. I gotta get this cat up out my closet. Oh, I need that stand up. Oh, that's you just sitting down. Okay. Oh. I needed to stand up anyway. I bought them. I've got two beds for my cats. Only one of them uses it. The other cat, I have a circular scratch pad. That's what she sleeps on. Hoodlum. Yeah, Hoodlum. She talks about a dream book. Yep. My best friend lost his pops last year, and he tells me dreams really help stays connected to this day. Well, like my grandfather, which wasn't a very spiritual person, but he's helped me. I've had some questions, and he's come back and answered, which I never would have thought. But he's come back quite a bit. What does dreaming about bees mean? I can look that up. I can look that up. I don't know if it's under insects, so it might take me a minute. Sometime it's in the names, and sometime, let's see. Yeah, I thought insects. I figured it would be into insects. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Bees represent productivity and the importance of group energy, but also can be intricate, frantic internal chatter. The noise and sting of bees can represent the cycle of worry and conflict. To see bees in your dreams symbolizes good luck as a group, but weakness as an individual. Dreams of bees are common when you are going through an experience that is laden with social expectations, such as a wedding. Bees, like ants, are symbolic of work and industry, as suggested by the phrase busy as a bee. To dream that you are stung by a bee signifies unexpected misfortune. You may be unaware of trouble growing around you. It also indicates acting to fend off those who are trying to hinder your progress. So if that works out for you, something to do with productivity, expectation, like it said, of having to be in a wedding, but something to do with work, it looks like, or your productivity. I know that's pretty vague, but that's kind of, that's a little, so something to do with work, I would guess. But has to be very disciplined mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, protect oneself from negative spirit attachments during dreaming. Somewhat. If you don't have a protective source in your room, yeah. What the hell? If you don't have like I have a vortex in my room, so I never worry about attachments joining. I need to buy a dream book. Oh, this is just, you can get other ones. And this was at Barnes & Noble. And I did not pay the price for this book. I think I paid $10 for this book. But so many people was asking me, and I can break down dreams without the book, but it helps. It gives me reference. I know people always ask me, and so I got the book for just a little more references. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope that helps. Because I read all of it about just the bee. It gets into if you got stung and all that stuff. So, but yeah, something to do with industry or work. And this, I got to go buy another cigar. Well, guys, that's about all I have for tonight. The show that has no point. Like Richard Pryor said, the point is there is no point. Yeah, I didn't want to show these rocks. This is very protective, and this is very grounding, and it's called specular hematite. I wear the locket sometimes. What they do is they put a varnish on this, and it creates almost a mirror effect. And the mirror effect is very interesting because it's not a blank slate. But I find it easier to trans and disappearing of all the mirrors because it's so much of this motion in it. But long as this is near, I know it will ground me, definitely. Sometimes with Shugite, it will really rise you. Like if I'm just holding a pair of Shugite, it will really take you off. And I'll call out to this. I have the big mirror in my bedroom, so I don't need it. But out here, this will cover this, my dining room and my living room. This will cover me. It is that strong. And the next one is obsidian, mahogany obsidian. I don't know if the browns will show up enough. Let's see on this side. And again, obsidian is a type of volcanic glass, but very protective. This one absorbs sorrow a little bit. So thank you, each and every one. I appreciate. My grandmother had an old dream book called Lucky's. It was a paperback. Yeah, that's why it was. That was like playing 3 and 4 digit. It was dream books. Matter of fact, the person that invented the bladeless turban, old ex-friend of mine, ex-business partner that's not with us, this is how his shit was. He created his own dream book and sold it around town. He got a cease and desist letter. Now, there's other dream books in the barber shops, the gas stations. They made him quit selling his. It was the weirdest shit. And then they put him on the news, and like they did a thing because he went to the news. It's like, why are they stopping? No explanation, but it was somebody stopping doing an abundance block. Somebody did an abundance block because he did a lottery dream book. That's what he did. He created a lottery dream book. He got a cease and desist letter and made us stop selling it. Jody, just woke up and saw you, and I'm about to stop. I have a Shugite pendant and a pyramid myself. Nice, Mark. Mark, what's happening? Now, the cool thing, like Edward, if you have more than one piece, put it near, don't put it on your cable box, but definitely near your Wi-Fi. It's perfect to put near your Wi-Fi. Now, if you start having Wi-Fi trouble, move it, but it will absorb a lot of these. I forget if the TV and the Wi-Fi put out negative or positive ions, but it will reverse that. And that's the cool thing about salt lamps. If you have salt lamps, get a piece of Shugite. And I mean, you can get them this small. These pieces are made for phones where you actually can put it on the phone. But I never thought like, where is it supposed to go? Where is it supposed to go? But very inexpensive. You can get a bunch of these for very inexpensive, and it's just the real deal. I mean, the thing about this piece is you want it to show the quartz and the pyrite. And I don't know if the light, but you see that? You can see the quartzite in it. And this one even has pyrite. There are the stronger pieces. Whereas the royal sugite won't have that, but it is more of a natural, higher grade. But for healing and definitely the water purification, you want something that's going to have the quartzite and the pyrite. And these are very cheap. You can get these for about $3, $4, $5 at the most. Probably less than that. You can get a bunch of them for about 10. So they were originally made for, but you put these near your salt lamps. I have a cube too. And I put my cube, I have like the one, I don't know if I turned off the lights, you could probably catch the glow. Let me see if you can catch the glow. It's probably like right. I guess you really can't. But if I turned all the lights off, you would see the glow. So it's like got dark around my face. So yeah, exactly. How can you put it in? It just doesn't make sense. I guess you could, like when they came out, the phone cases weren't as big, or before the phone cases, but yeah, where are you going to put this damn thing? It's like, because it has a sticky in the back, but it's like, well, I guess you could put it like, because this had a kickstand, but it's nowhere it could go. So not very practical anymore, but they're cheap. They're cheap and they're a good solid source. They just wrote me. So next week I'll get my powder and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to get it. And as soon as I get this, I'm going to buy some more powder and maybe start putting, because I'm going to mix it with some CBD lotion. So I'm going to make it into a putty, and then I'm going to get some CBD lotion and then mix that all together, and might make some batches. So that is something coming on. You can put it in. Oh, okay. You're saying you could put it inside. Yeah, you could. I put sugite items on the desk and near the Wi-Fi. Yeah, definitely. But if it interferes, like Super Slide's friend had mentioned that he saw his internet was slower because he had the sugite near. I had to consider that because I used to have it on top. So I have to consider that as well. So you have to work to see if it's disrupting your flow. So just let's do a little quick exercise before I go. Again, just imagine, again, put yourself, and the aim is just to find a room again. So that's the aim, is just to find a room, or the hallways, excuse me. So just close your eyes, your normal breathing. And start, it takes a few minutes, and start seeing what you're creating. But the aim is to create a hallway or find the passage to the hallway. Now I'm struggling a little bit, so much light, but that's okay. I'll push through the light. And as you just get into your consciousness, just see where the hallway is going to take you. Like right now, the hallway it's on the angle, but I want the hallway here. I'm seeing it opening up over here, but actually I won't accept that passage. I want the straight passage. Because it's funny how the way the consciousness will try to take you on an angle. It's like you see the door open here and you'll do this, but then you're stuck. So you've got to do the experience through this way instead of being straight. So you don't want to follow those paths. You want this path. The path that's straight in front of you, so you don't have to keep, because what will happen is if you turn your body to follow that path, it'll change again, then you got to turn, then it'll just keep you moving, and you're getting lost. It's putting you into a maze. Don't accept that. You'd be like, no, I want to go forward. It's had the damn vision of Pepe Le Pew. It's like a big ass Pepe Le Pew just went by. That's some funny shit. And so again, we just want to see the hallway. That's all. And once you see the hallway, mentally push towards it. Now, a lot of you might, a lot of you might beat me because I'm fighting these lights as well. And the funny thing is, if you see it, try to jump. Take that jump. It's like if you see it open up, that's what the energy is I'm seeing now, is jump into it. So you might have to jump into it. So don't be fearful. It's not far. But it looks like right now, and what I'm getting from everybody, you're kind of going to have to jump into it. Just jump into it. Stand up. And you don't have a body, remember that. But it's easier to kind of try to understand it as having a body, but you really don't. But humor me. Okay, that was a shot of light out of nowhere. And start moving through the hallway. Now we're going to do something a little different today. We are going to count the doors. Not go in and just count the doors that you see. Now, as you're walking down, how many doors do you see on your right? Probably going to go about 20 seconds. How many doors do you see on your right? How many doors do you see on your left? Just walk and just notice on both sides. See how many you come up with. Now, don't answer me. Don't sit there and answer me how many doors you're supposed to see. I can't answer everybody. Come on, that's too much. It's on you. I don't have the answer, so quit asking me. I don't have the answer. There's no answer. You have to find out what's for you. So those of you asking me, stop. Stop asking me. You find them yourself. There's no right or wrong answer. Maybe that'll make you relax. There's no right or wrong answer. If you don't see any doors, that's okay too. Or maybe that's answering everybody's question. You don't see any doors. If you're not even in the hallway, that's okay too. You can just practice the calmness. But count how many doors you see. So how many doors did you see on your right? How many doors did you see on your left? And I'm going to throw a wrinkle. Did you see any above you or did you see any below? Now, don't tell me. Write down if you saw any doors. I'll tell you how many I saw. I saw 2 below me. That's why I threw that in, because I saw 2 doors under me. It was actually stairways, and I kind of had to sidestep to not walk into it. And I saw 1 stairway that went up. And so just to get everyone realizing that the ethers and the astral isn't the only thing. That's the point. It's not the only thing. There's another, to me, more powerful way that they haven't corrupted. Because believe me, they are in the ethers and they are in the astral. And if you're not protected, it's not that safe. Now, these Sudan sisters seem to let the Tsar path be safer. They don't seem to like that. That is why I mess with it. So I want to get a salt lamp. Yeah, you can get a salt lamp. If you get them from Walmart, they're not bad, but just read it and make sure they are salt lamps. So, ever heard of glycine? Yes, I have. You probably have to remind me, but yes, I have. Ready to make contact with ancestor Olmec Black Jaguar? Yeah. Shugite, it comes from Russia, but if you have a crystal store, they more likely have some. eBay, Etsy. What is my guy? I'll tell you who to see. My guy wrote me. Let me find him. Let me see. Me going to eBay, and I'll tell you who to look at, because he got the real shit. Like, he got the real shit for your water. He got the real, let me see. He gave me a message. I'll tell you his name. I like him. Okay. His name, his company is called Shungite, which is S-H-U-N. Let me write this. So it's, and this is my man. And it, right now everything is coming a little faster because I'm getting my stuff next week. But if you want to get the real deal to purify your water, Shungite, did I smell it right? S-H-U-N-G-I-T-E. And it is, let me back up here. But this is my man. And actually, I possessed this cat one time. No, it was the Shawrite dude. No, it was the dude with the Shawrite. I want to spell it right for you guys. I don't see what I'm looking for. Oh, here it is. Hit that. That. Yeah. Okay. And then his last name is T-O-L-E-U. This is my guy in Russia. Shugite Tova. Yep. and you go into eBay, you look up Shungite. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. S-H-U-N, I spelled it wrong. No, I guess S-H-U-N-G-I-T-E. Shungite Tova. And let me see what his name is. But yeah. But, I told him, but he wrote me back. He says only about 7 days, about 2 weeks, really. So, because they were closed down. But what I ordered is called Shungite powder, 85 grams, 1/19 of an ounce, made of 100% Shungite. And he has a whole store. You can look up his store. But if you get Pebbles, let me show you the difference. I don't want to stick my hand in my water. And I don't want to waste my water either. Oh, here's my bottle. Yeah, I'd rather show you a real piece. I hate to waste my water, though. All right. There it is. Now, this is Royal Shungite, which a lot of people don't use it for water. I do. But he sells this kind of stuff, which you can always find pyrite in quartzite, which is more healing. And no matter what kind of water, this can cleanse it. I put both in, but this is recommended. And to show you, this is what's in the bottom, is this kind. And I have it in 3 different bottles. And I've been working with this I've been ingesting Shungite water for 5, going on 6 years. But this is the kind to meditate with. But I use this for water as well. So, but that's the cat I use. You see, look in this store, you see, something that might work for you, bracelets and stuff. Like Edward, be careful of putting it in bedrooms, because some people, you might not be able to sleep with it, because it is, if you feel something keeping you up, it might not be for you in your bedroom. So keep that in mind. So if you get a bracelet or something and you feel kind of anxious in your bedroom, take it and put it in the other room. It might be too strong. I don't find that. I got a bunch of it in my bedroom, but if you find that, easy fix. Put it in every water you drink. Yeah, you can put it in every, but you have to let it sit. It's like, I'm going to put everything near the window. In the summers, I just leave it outside. I put all my jars outside. And when I do the ceremonies outside during the full moon, I let them sit. But I'll leave my windows open, and I'll put the Shungite in the windows for the full moon, so the moon can kiss it. So Saturday I'll be having the water but like I have one container that's metal that it keeps it in. I have another just copper container that I keep it in. So I actually filter it a few different kind of ways. But it recommends just get some, use tap water or refrigerated water. Because remember, if you're using water from the refrigerator, you're getting the benefit of the copper tube. So that's the advantage of having, because you're filtering it, but you're filtering it twice, because you're filtering it first from the copper tubes, because that's how they tap it. They tap your main water line, and then they run a copper tube to your refrigerator. And then inside your refrigerator, you have a filter. And then, so you're getting filtered water, but it's filtered twice because it's going through the copper and it's going through the charcoal. See, they use Shungite as their filters in Russia. So instead of making a charcoal filter, they make the filters with Shungite. So that's the benefit. And you let it sit for a day or two, and then you drink it. So, yeah. But it's I put it in there. It's Shungite, which is Shungite, Shungite, and it's dash Tov, Tolvu. So I put it in the comments. So it's Shungite Tov. I'm sorry, did I miss you? No, glycine. I've heard about it, but I don't remember how to use it. So that's the name. I put it in there. I put it in there, Valerie. Put in every. So you can use it right out of the tap too to clean it. The Wi-Fi box in my sister's bedroom. Okay, okay. I'll put it in here again. I'll put it in here again for you, Valerie. SHUNGITE Next TOL. No, I think it's not capital. I think he just put TOLBU. And that is his store. And I'm not benefiting at all from pushing him. I don't benefit other than I do business with him. That's it. There's no, he's like, Brian, you send so many people to me, I'll give it to you for $59.59. There's none of that. But it's just to get the real stuff. Now, Motivite is another, I might see if I can get a box of it, because it's really like, don't order any Motivite from China, because they're going to send you fake stuff. They're going to send you fake stuff. What did the ancestors? Oh, okay. Yes. As I said before, my first real experience with the omen visiting me was I have some heads. I had a head that was going to be sent to me because, what you have to understand, when I first found this head that I could purchase, it came from reading. They came before Columbus. And then one book that I really wish I was still had was that book put a lot of pressure on these mugs, and they had to show where the omen came from. So National Geographic came out with a book that showed all their lands and showed the heads as well. So when I found that I could purchase a head and have it in my home, I was quite excited. So the night before, 3 of the heads came and visited me, and they were quite pleased. And as I told the story before, I was looking in the mirror, and the first time I came across with the face of a bearded omen or omic, I saw a bearded omen. I never ran across that. One of the books I purchased, it had a page. Sure enough, there's a brother with a beard. So that was my second experience. Third experience, I'm pretty sure the mirror I sent my brother, it was just one of the heads wearing the ball helmet. And so since then, I don't know if I want to share that part. No, I'm not going to share that part. How else can I put it? Oh, okay. So I've been told that they're pleased about me changing it from the sacred ball game to the continuous ball game. That pleases them. They're very pleased that I talk about the hero twins, but quite pleased that I also talk about, gosh, I lost my thought. The Yanis that I don't use, because this book of Toltecs, they say shaman, and there were no shaman in South America. That's a Russian thing. There are no shaman in South America. They were never shaman. They just try to use the popular word. And so they appreciate me using the term Yani, because that's the proper term. So they appreciate that. So they like that I pointed out to people that there were tombs found. They found their bodies. They ain't talking about carbon testing them, because you know what the answer came back. They don't like the answer that they get when they talk about when they found them bones and the DNA in the bones. They don't like that shit. So that's some shit they don't want to talk about. They don't even want to tell you that they found tombs, because they found tombs. So they appreciate that. The Mystery of the Omics by David Hatcher Childress. Because there is another book, and it just pisses me off. It's so expensive. Well, it's not, the book's not expensive, but bringing it from damn Canada, because I have the very first book published in the world. Let me not say in the world. Let me take it back. This French cat wrote the very first book about them. Well, the first publishing comes from the Voltaires. It's called the Voltaires Axe. And they found it's a celt. A celt is an axe, but it's a celt about this big. And that's the first time a dude finds that in the 1800s. But let me see if I can find this book because it's one of the. But I have the first book ever published in English, and I do have that book. But let me find this other book, and I've got to order it. It's just seeing if the price to order, because it's like $15 to order that shit is just too much. Canada ain't far from me. Canada's hours from me, and you tell me that you want me to order this shit from. Let me see. I think it's here. I'll give you the name of it. But this is like another head you can order. I have heads, but he wants $70 for that damn thing, and I have nowhere to put it. But this is head number 3. That this guy made some of my other heads. It's like $60 plus shipping. Comes to about $70, about $80. But let me see if this book is still in here. I'm pretty sure it is. Here we go. It's called Man's Past. So let's see if the shipping is still expensive. Yeah, $20 to ship it is more expensive than the freaking book, and it's only in Canada. So, like, I like the information. A lot of this shit is showing I already got, but yeah, $20 to ship is kind of outrageous. Kind of outrageous. So I think I have the book you're saying, Edward. I'm pretty sure I have that book. Okay, cool, Mark. Cool. Yeah, I think I have that book, Edward. I think that is the book I have. I have about 3 or 4 books, though. So, all right. Well, let's see how much of Eshan's Eshan's poem I can remember, because it's not a lot. This shit is like 20 years old. But thank you for last night, guys. I mean, gosh, a lot of people stayed with me for the 4 hours. So thank you for the ones that did. Thank you for staying with me for this amount of time. I appreciate it, guys. And it's funny, the 24 is up there. That is funny. And I wish I could show this full shirt. This shirt is the bomb. This shit is so cool. And it says Gould. Gould, that's the word of God. It's called, it's not God, it's Gould. It's Gould. That is the word we call God. So, but it goes a little something like this, Eshan. I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gang banger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. Make more money. My pockets are like sunshine, always sunny. I'll never walk through the pearly gates of heaven. That's why I carry 2 357s. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. Aidwind is timeless. Till we meet again. One love.